So 2025 product is gone. We're done. 2026 releases have started to pop up. What is the current state of the NASCAR hobby? You're about to find out. What's your takeaway from last year's product run?
Are we starting, or are you just asking me before I go?
Oh yeah, we're live. Yeah, we're live.
Oh, my overall thoughts on last year's product.
Yeah. For
For
2025 as a whole, from Donruss to NT.
it was okay. I would say it was okay, and that's stemming mainly from the fact that Zilich really carried product. I liked Donruss more than the average person. I thought Donruss was pretty okay this year. Sorry, I'm just going down all the releases in my head. I'm not a Select guy. Select seems like not the best. Prism was pretty deep better than the last 2 years, so that's a plus. Turn 4 was not very good, and then NT was fine. I would say it averaged out to fine.
So if you had to give it a 1 through 10, 10 being, oh my God, we're back. 1 being, this is garbage. Where would you put it?
It's like a 5. It was a very
just right in the middle, just mid.
It was fine. There were some products. I mean, like when I average out the whole year, it's about a 5. There are some products I liked more than a 5. There are some that I liked less than a 5. And overall, that's kind of where I think it ends up. Now, if you take out Zilich, I mean, it probably brings it down a whole point at least, in my opinion.
Yeah.
By all accounts, Prism was much better than the last few years. So as a result, Prism, I think Prism saw the best gains from year to year over product, in my opinion. Just due to the fact that they took out some of the out of $4.99 stuff, which really helped it.
Yeah, that had to be done. This 2023 we started with that, with the blues to $4.99.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It was ridiculous. We don't need that. There's 0. I don't care who the driver is. There's not enough value to just put them in the boxes. In my personal opinion, I give the product from last year, Donruss, Prism, Turn 4, Select, and NT. I'd probably give the products themselves a 7 out of 10. However, the checklists were so atrocious, it drops me down to about a 4 overall. So I'll probably meet you at a 5 and agree, but those are my reasons. I like the cards. Donruss was fun. I actually opened up more Donruss this year than I have since 2021.
I know, you opened up more. You actually liked Donruss this year.
Donruss was great. The new pack configuration was 16 packs. Having the rookie packs, having the setup was just much better. And Donruss, I know, is there. It's there for the paper. It's there for the set builders. It's there for those that like the IP autos. It just takes care of a lot of little pieces of the hobby that we need. So Donruss doesn't need to go away. In fact, if anything, I think they've got it dialed into a point where we just need to get the checklist wrangled in, and it could be a monstrously fun product overall as a whole. The downtowns with damage kind of sucked in the QC wise. That wasn't ideal. A lot of the lower numbered optics seem to be way off centered. So when you do get into the high number guys like Butterbean, the rookies, Zilich, SVG, the ladies, Chase Elliott, Lars, all those higher dollar cards, they do seem to be a pretty off centered. Which I know you're not going to have PSA 10s coming out of every pack. We know that. But for a baseline product, that's the only one I always hope is just in good shape. Always in good shape. But we pulled 5 downtowns. 4 of them had mangled corners. Just every single time we just knew it was just how it was. I don't know if it's because of the new wrappers or if it's the configuration, how the boxes are. I don't know, but that's something that I think needs to be looked at. But Donruss as a product was awesome. overall, and that's me saying it. That is me saying that. We opened up a good amount, and it was at a good price point, I think. But your upside is so high. It was nice having some products with some really big upside.
Well, that's why it was so good. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Now 2024 SVG carried pretty well. He has enough haters out there to where it didn't carry as high as it probably should have. As you can see with this recent dip, he's on the rise again, but there was quite a dip there for a while.
I was buying during that dip.
Absolutely. Oh, buddy,
buying.
You look at my purchase history, your jaw would be on the ground. I mean, it was day after day, offer after offer was sent to me, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" Yeah, twist my arm to buy that. There was a week I think I had 60 some packages show up. And I forgot all what I bought, but it was just auto after auto after auto after SP that people just started bailing on. I'm like, okay, no problem, thank you. I'm going to fill the vault up. And now they've all started to come back up already. We're one race into the season as of 6 hours ago, so not bad. But compared to where we were in 2023 product, that was a rough. It was a rough year.
That year was brutal.
It hurt. It hurt. Especially coming off 2022 Prism, which is one of the best Prisms I think ever made. Just a great quality set. 4 autos, 4 numbered cards, 1 to 2 SPs per box. Nothing numbered over 199. Just great color blast checklist. Great rookie class. That's your host. For those of you who don't know, that's Hocevar, Sammy Smith, Tony B, Zachary Tinkle, Colby Howard, Daniel Dye. It's a great little rookie class. 2022 was phenomenal, and then it just all went to hell with 2023, and then 2024 got a little right. And Raja didn't even really get. He only had rookie cards in Prism. He's never even had a rated rookie. So I mean, 23 Donruss could have been great. It was rushed and late. But that's okay. But now looking forward, having last year we had a new product, Turn 4. Y'all know about Turn 4. Turn 4 to me, and I've been very vocal about this, so this shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone in the hobby at all. It should not come as a surprise. The idea behind it, phenomenal. Been asking for something like that for years. Absolutely. I've opened up, just to preface, I've opened up exactly 0 boxes of Turn 4. 0 cases, 0 boxes, nothing. I've not touched it with a 10-foot pole. Because the checklist is so unbelievably atrociously bad that there's no way I just wasn't gonna do it. That's why I opened up so much more Donruss, because like Donruss just has better value. You spend $20. What's that?
I was gonna say the value proposition for Turn 4 this year is I think it was 8. I think it was 8 boxes in a case.
10 box case. 10 box case.
10 box case, and basically, the only way you had any chance is hopefully snagging the 1 in every 10 boxes that had the Kavroom. If you hit the Kavroom, you're going to probably do fine, depending what the other stuff is. But like, if you did not hit the Kavroom in your box, Kavroom or Zillich, you are going to get crushed.
Correct.
By a lot.
Correct. And how many cases? I know you watched a bunch of cases get open. I've watched dozens and dozens on eBay, on YouTube, on Facebook, on whatnot, and you've seen spots sell for crazy amount of money on all the different platforms and all the different groups, which is irrelevant because at the end of the day, you got 10 boxes, you got 40 cards, and you got a checklist with 138 drivers on it, which include Vinnie Miller, David Reagan, Kaz Grala, Ryan Vargas, all that D-tier stuff. And for a product like that, I really would have rather it been a $249 box when it settled, with like a $300 release, with a bigger MSRP, and just cut out that bottom 40%. Use those guys in other products. That's fine. Put them in NT. Put them in Donruss Select. That's fine. But that for an encased card product, it just never had that next level of premium feel. Personally, I just didn't see it.
Yeah. I agree. After we go through the recap, I'll give you what I think, what my ideal checklist is. So I'll do that after this.
Yeah, and we'll go through that later in the show for those of you listening.
But
we're gonna recap last year's stuff. and then we'll go through what we think's coming, what they could do. I have a couple mock-ups of an insert that we kind of think should be included in the product with a very good reason behind it, which we will talk about. The other things we're going to talk about is just the NASCAR community as a whole, the outreach, NASCAR advertising, the season, how the new playoff format will affect cards. I think that's I think you're finally going to see some correlation there. In my opinion, I think with the chase back, I think the chase is on with the hobby, which I'm very excited for. Which we've been slowly growing towards it, and now we're in a position where it's going to make sense for all involved. But yeah, just to touch on one other thing with last year, the Kavroom, it was, and the other thing with turn 4 in general, it was so poorly advertised, in my opinion. The Kavroom ultra rare SSP was 1 per case. I don't consider that ultra rare anything. You have a harder time pulling a color blast, and those go for 60% less than a Kavroom does most of the time.
The Black Pandoras from Donruss are way harder to hit than Kavrooms. Yes,
Black Pandoras you want to talk super short print? That's the super short print of 2025. The Black Pandora Optic unnumbered SSP from 2025 Donruss is probably the hardest parallel to hit, period. Case in point, I have the Connor Zilic Black Pandora rated rookie optic. I have yet to see another one. Donruss been out for a year. How many hundreds of cases have been opened? And there's still some drivers where they haven't appeared. It's one of my saved searches on eBay. There's still some that haven't popped up.
I was going to say the thing with the Black Pandoras is like they're not impossible to hit. Like you'll probably see one you'll see one in like a case break, but if you want to hit if you want one of your driver because of I think it's 200 cards for Donruss, 100, I don't know.
150 total for optic, I believe, last year.
Yeah, so there's just a ton of different people in it. So even if you did the math and let's say they were a print run of 10 or less, I mean that's still a ton of those, but very few for the driver you're looking for.
Right, and you got the portraits. You got the rookies, you got the rides with the horizontal car cards.
Yep.
It's a very vast and wide. So if it's 0.5 to 1.5 per case, you're not gonna see a ton of them. That's why you see more golds. That's why you see the one of ones easier. In my opinion, I see more one of ones for Zilic than I have the one Black Pandora that's out there. So it's just one of those things. The checklist is always hard to read, and sometimes it is poorly put together. But as the product comes out, you got to just hone in and see. I haven't seen that, but I've seen 9 Kavrooms get pulled in the last 9 cases. That to me, is the Kavroom sick? Yes. Do we need it? Absolutely. Am I glad it's here? 100%. Are we going to get parallels in the future? Hopefully. The golds and the greens. That would be lovely. However, I would like them to be more scarce. It should be a more scarce item. But again, you look at the checklist, it's tough. It's a tough checklist to get around.
I know we're getting distracted here, but I'm gonna even throw this out there as this downtowns from Donruss are very hard to pull too.
They were very tough. They weren't even 1 per case this year.
No, they were rarer than a case hit. Whereas for my example here is if you go on and you look at the Kavrooms, it's not that difficult to find one of the driver you're looking for. Go try to find the downtown of your favorite driver from 24 or 25. 24 especially was impossible to pull a downtown.
It was very tough. Very tough.
And then this year, they're even more possible. Not even more, but those are way harder to hit than a Kavroom. I'm trying to think. I know Larson has a downtown. I can't think of Larson. Yeah, Larson has a Kavroom. And for some reason the Kavrooms they sell for about the same, but are exponentially harder to find than the downtowns are exponentially harder to find than the Kavrooms.
And I'm a Prism ho. I love Prism till the day I die.
You and me both. You and me both.
Just it's always been a great product. Except for 2023, that year can die. We could delete that from the hobby, and I'd be okay with that. But the fact that color blasts have never gotten the respect, it might just be because of our part of the hobby, and that's okay. But over time, I do hope that people see, okay, there's only 1 or 2 color blasts available, but there's 6 Kavrooms, there's 4 down. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to get to. And as the hobby for us grows, meaning the motorsports side, here for NASCAR. It's going to continue to grow. And last year, I think we saw the biggest growth since COVID. In my personal opinion, I'm not a big fan of the yellow site, whatnot, for my own reasons. But man, the amount of people that have hopped on there and grown a community and have had great success on there, it's great. It is great to see for those that are doing it right. There are some that are still not doing it right, that for whatever reason still end up they're still on there. But as a whole, it's been great growth. And eBay shows that the number of sales, the amount of the sale, the Facebook threads. Every day you can hop on and see 50 to 60 sale posts across all the different NASCAR groups on Facebook, and there's stuff selling. People are buying and selling and trading, and it's fantastic. It's great to see. So with that, I think that'll, over time, again, you'll see what the scarcity levels and how these checklists are really built. That will come to further light. But to stay back on track, one last thing I want to talk about with the last year's release was Select, for 2025 Select. 2025 Select for me was not as good as 2024 Select, and 2024 Select was not as good as 2017 Select. I said it, there you go. I might be a little biased because SVG has rookies in 2024 Select, but you also have Zilich in the great rookie class in 2025. I don't think it was strong enough to carry it. It didn't have the pop that 2024 had. It just didn't have that, okay, this is good. And again, I think it just comes down to the checklist. With the far and few betweens and the parallel numbering and how hard it is to hit certain drivers, it's just not, it's tough. It's a tougher product overall. So other than that, you had Donruss. We did not have Prime this year. We did not have Chronicles again this year. As most of you know, I love my Chronicles and I love Prism. Chronicles is just a great product for me from the breaking side of things. A lot of variety, a lot of great cards. Everybody hits something of some sort, whether it's the base set they're chasing, the numbered cards, the autos, the relics, the jumbos, whatever. It's just a great little mashup mosh pit of cards. And I do miss Chronicles. But for 2026, we're looking at a schedule here. We know for sure Donruss is slated for April 22nd, 2026. And I have ish there on the screen because who knows when we'll actually see it. It's always kind of a crapshoot. Everything did kind of come out on time-ish last year, though. Props were due. I think the only thing that got delayed was Prism. And we had this weird Christmas Eve release with NT and Prism all at one time, which kind of sucked on the breaker side. And as a collector, it's tough to have two of the biggest releases of the year back to back to back like that, and have the holidays and your Christmas and then end of the year. It can put a little strain on you. It can put a little strain on you for sure. But for 2026, Donruss, this may shock some of you, I'm actually pretty pumped about it. It looks like we have 5 rated rookies in that class coming up. Not sure who they're going to be. I hope they're worthy of that. I know we can probably assume Brayton Laster's probably in there, I believe. I know he's been posting about signing stickers. It probably confirmed as one of the rookies. I'd be willing to bet. Do you think Gio gets a rated rookie? Or do you think that's no. Passed? You don't think he's getting one, right? Yeah, that's passed. He just had the Prism rookie. Kind of like Sage.
Because of Raja. Raja had the same thing. Yeah. He's passed it.
Yeah, so that's kind of meh, but yeah, 2026 should be good. We got on-card autos, which I'm, the next day ink or whatever they call it, or whatever it is.
Race day auto.
Yeah, next day auto.
It's next day. Yeah, next day.
Next day auto. On-card, having that'll be great. Probably going to be redemptions, which is, it is what it is. If it's on-card, that's probably worth the wait. Depending on what the checklist is, again. You're always back to the checklist. And then I think you and I can agree the biggest piece of news, I don't know how many times we've asked for it. We've talked about it. We've wanted it. We've begged for it at the National the last, 3 years. Probably. And we're finally getting it. We're getting a downtown parallel in the gold foil to 10. For the first time ever. We've had the downtown since 2020. It's when it debuted for us in Donruss. We've never had the parallels like the stick and ball sports. No golds, no one of ones, no Pandoras, no nothing. It's just been the downtown, and it hasn't even been on an optic foil. It's just been foil. It's just been a foil basic foil paper card. So we still don't have the optic. We can still hope that that'll get to there one day. But I think that's going to be probably the biggest chase of the year. I would hope. Going into this new release schedule, I think the gold downtowns are where it's at. I think that's what you shoot for.
I would agree. I mean, we've talked about it forever. I think it's the thing that'll really elevate things. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know I'll be trying to buy them. Maybe I'm not worried about this. I'm just thinking, like, if they're adding, because of how hard the downtowns are to hit already, like, are we going to see more downtowns in circulation?
I don't think so. Because they haven't done that. It hasn't happened before.
I'm just thinking, like, it hasn't happened before, but, like, I think by all accounts, downtowns in 2021 and 2022 are significantly easier to hit. So, like, at least in my opinion, like, I've seen them pop out of those boxes way more often. Like, if it's closer to like that, and then like these golds are like harder to hit, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. It'll be interesting to see how it all breaks out. Because like I said, it feels like there's very few downtowns for like this year,
which is good. I like the scarcity. Now, what I hope is,
I like it too.
Having heard, on other online podcast shows, etc., that the reason we don't get the optics is because of the sheets and the cost, which is fine. That's fine. I keep the cost down. That's A-okay. But if it's all about numbering on the sheets, and you're only going to give us the goals this year, that means you only need 10 per driver. That should be a sheet per. So if we're going to have the same 20 drivers, maybe it's 2 sheets worth. So maybe we have 2 sheets worth, 200 less regular downtowns. And then maybe the goals just slide in and that standard pop count for their production numbers, but there's just the golds now. Yeah. Which I would be fine with. I'm okay with that. And again, I don't think there should be a downtown in every box. They really make it 1 per 2.5 cases. That's kind of where it should be. It's one of the most coveted case hits quotes that there is. So I'm all for it.
Football has done immeasurable damage to downtowns by putting them in basically everything.
Correct.
I mean, like, I think the worst example are kabooms. Kabooms are like in everything possible. Yep. Like they're
vertical,
not even
horizontal,
they're not even that
everything.
They're not even that hard to hit in retail.
No.
Like, to be honest. So like, I'm actually happy that we have some tough case hits.
Yeah, I like it to stay that way too. I don't, there's no participation trophies. Not everybody needs to have a case hit. Not everybody should just get one for playing. You got to go out and find it. You got to go hunt it. You got to get it. You got to be the first to buy it. And then when they're gone, they're gone. That's just part of that's part of collecting. That keeps values up. It keeps the scarcity up. It keeps the excitement up. It's the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the chase. Just like we have this year back in the Cup Series, the chase is back. So very, very excited about it, especially with today's Daytona race. Very, very fun one to watch. Chaotic finish, of course. But overall, I think it was a great kickoff to the season. Great kickoff to the season. Hopefully, it will be a great kickoff to our product line this year with Donruss in April. What we don't know is what comes after Donruss, and we could kind of piece it together. Well, obviously, NT, Prism, for sure, Staples not going anywhere. The unknown question and unanswered questions are: is it Turn 4 and Select back on the docket? Is Prime coming back? Does Chronicles make a return? Does Turn 4 get scrapped? Does Select get scrapped? Do we have a higher end product above NT come out now that the licenses are now gone for NBA and soon to be for NFL come, March 1st or April 1st? So are there new funds available? Are they going to be able to do higher end sets? Are we going to get more mid end sets? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out. My spidey senses say no, because that'd be too easy. But I think as it grows, I don't think there's going to be a choice with Panini. I think they're going to have to put out more options throughout the year. Whether they're massive releases like Donruss and Prism, or if they're just like maybe a limited release, a little single packer. I've wanted a nice single pack other than a prime, something like a immaculate or a you mentioned luminance as well would be kind of a cool set because of the the different photography. But something along those lines, optic, like an optic box, just optic, like they have the fast break optics, just one pack, couple autos, couple parallels, couple silvers, that's it. Nothing crazy, nothing, but it's just quick, easy, fun. You cut to the chase, no base, something along those lines. So that's what I'm hoping happens. It probably won't, but that's what I'm hoping for. But now I'm curious what you think is going to be our lineup for this year. Now, with Donruss coming out in April, that only gives us 8 months to get out at least 4 products. So, what are your hopes? What's your vision for 2026?
Well, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen, and I also have a sheet of what I would like to see happen with the releases.
Well, tell me what you think is going to happen first. Let's start with that.
I'll start with what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see the same of what we saw last year. I think we're going to see the same releases. I think we're going to get I don't have much to add. I think we're going to get the same of what we got last year. I think we're going to get Select. We're going to get Turn 4. We're going to get Prism, and we're going to get NT. I mean, I think I know that's like a boring answer, but like I think Panini's going to commit to that for at least this upcoming year.
So you think that the docket just stays the same? Donruss, Turn 4, Prism,
correct. At least for this year, 2026. Yes.
Okay. I can get behind that. Yep, I can get behind that. Now, what would you hope would happen? What would be the ideal case scenario here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'll probably talk for 5 or 10 minutes here, I guess. I'll kind of just give my whole thoughts on what I'm gonna basically say. I'm creating the 2027 slate of product. Is how I'm gonna look at this. So I'm gonna kind of just run down my thoughts on everything. I'm making the rule I'm sticking to 5 products because I think it's unfair to me just to add or pull away products. I'm sticking to 5 products, which is what we had last year and what I think we're gonna have this year. So that's where we're sticking. Our first release is going to be Donruss. Boring answer, but like Donruss is a staple and it's needed. I'm probably going to get Jordan. I'll get a little technical on the reasons why.
Do it.
For everything. So the reason why we have to have Donruss is Donruss is our lower end product for NASCAR point blank period. We need something that's for like the kids and the set collectors that is the paper product. Which is Donruss. I think they've done a pretty good job of mixing in the optics as well and some of the chases to make it like one of the better releases overall. So honestly, I wouldn't change a ton about Donruss. The only thing that I would do, and I'm thinking from the business aspect, because it's one thing for me to say like, oh, let's just put in better driver autos, right? Like I could easily say that. But it's not realistic because like all these companies are based off of funds. So my pitch, if I were Panini, is I am going to skew the more lower end Vinnie Miller autos into Donruss. Because the reason, like, if you're somebody that's chasing stuff out of Donruss, you're chasing the rated rookies. And spoiler alert, the rated rookies are going to be cheap for you to get to sign because they're not proven stars. So I am going to basically flood Donruss with a ton of the rated rookie autos and the lower end autos of the Vinnie Millers, the Ryan Vargases, David Reagans, and stuff like that. But as a result, we're keeping the boxes to $100 less. So that's our first. I also like have like little things. So what I put is I want every product to have a chase. Like there has to be a reason to open the product. If there isn't, why would you want to open it as a consumer? So basically the 2 chases you have in Donruss are going to be those rated rookies. I mean, these are the first autos you're going to get of Zilich, SVG, any of these guys when they come, which is obviously a chase because they're going to sell for sky high. And Downtowns are going to be the exclusive Donruss chase for special inserts. I would really like them to go to some optics Downtowns at some point, but I'm not going to worry about that. They can stick with the golds. They can give me the black 1012 if they'd like to, but thoughts on that first Donruss wave that I proposed?
I like that. I do like that. I think that's a good way to do it. Donruss, again, Donruss being paper, Donruss being a lot of cards, Donruss being up to 300 or to 299. Donruss being for those that want to collect sets, that want to take cards to get signed in person, that want the rookie cards. That's where you stack it up. But if you get a Vinny Miller auto, well, you can open up the other 19 boxes in the case. I'm 100% with you on that. I like it. I like it, especially with the downtown chase. I like that a lot. I like
Yeah,
that.
because I mean, I want this to be. There needs to be a product for kids to be able to go to Walmart and buy a blaster for like $25.
That's a good point. I like that.
That's just Donruss. Throw in, as much as I'm not a fan of sheet metal, throw in the sheet metal as the relics, because sheet metal is relatively cheap to get and affordable, and you can use a ton of it. Just blast out sheet metal relics if you have to fill up some of those. Yeah. But like Donruss is going to be a mandate, and it is now. So I'm not like saying anything that's like too insane here, because it's quite literally what Donruss already is. Because I think it's honestly
an entry level product,
and it's in. I don't know if you would agree with this, but like out of all of the products that are currently out, I think Donruss is in the best state in the sense that you'd have to change the least amount of it for the future to be set up for success.
I agree.
So that's my Donruss. Okay, we're moving on. I know you'll cry tears of joy. We're bringing back Chronicles for our second release.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, and the reason why we're bringing back Chronicles is that it's more or less because we have 5 product releases. I cannot fully dedicate a spot to Select as a product when Prism just overshadows Select overall. And basically Prism and Select are brother and sister products, and I'm just going to go for the one that more people are going to want in Prism. So Select is the odd man out, but it's not really, because Select can literally just go into Chronicles. I can give Select an extended print run in Chronicles to make up for it. And it's like, instead of give it a 25 driver checklist in Chronicles, like I can do that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm gonna do. And that's, yeah, if we only have the 5, this gets me, like you said, this gets me Luminance, which I think would be beautiful. There's so much good photography that could be used for Luminance.
How would you do the hits for that? What would be your chase for Luminance?
The chases. So yeah, the chases for Luminance are going to be the Jumbo 101 patches, like Chronicles has always had.
Really? Okay. I like that.
So it's going to go back to the Jumbos. I also have color wheels coming over from Select. The color wheels are going to come into Chronicles.
I do like color wheels. I do like those.
So, I basically say this is basically going to be one of our middle end sets. I guess the trend of what you're going to see is, in my ideal world, I'm raising the wax prices for a lot of things. Which collectors can take it or leave it at that. But I think if you raise the prices of the wax to retail, you're going to get significantly better product in general.
I don't think. I think the amount of hands that shoot up to say don't do that significantly are outshadowed by those that say I'm okay with paying an extra $50 a box if I know that the checklist is going to be XYZ, and that my chances to not walk away with literally $6 worth of cards. And again, disclaimer, it's not all about that. We get it. However, when you're opening up enough product and you're putting out a product, you can't have it riddled with the low tier stuff. We're done with it. Nobody wants that.
So as a result,
yeah, I like that. I like that.
And so that means, so I had a rough price of about 200 on Chronicles.
That's fine.
Price point. I
kind of $199 a box for that. 16 box case. Yeah, that's $199.
Fine. And obviously the retail market can do what it wants with putting it higher or lower based off of how they'd like the product. But I think it's gonna retail for 200. We can put Immaculate back in. That's fine. The condition though is if you do and you can't get the autos, Immaculates are going to be redemptions that are going to be on card, because that's what Immaculate should be as a product.
Yes, I said that. As much as I love those for 23, and that's one of the coolest add-ins, surprise items for Chronicles. First to say it, but having the sticker on there was like, it's just, And I know nobody likes redemptions, but I'd much rather it be coming a nice encased, mag with the sticker. And it's on card, and it's a 6 swatch, and maybe only a number, and maybe only make 10 of each. That's fine. I don't need them to 99. Add in the autographed memorabilia from Select, you're in business. You're 100% make those have the stickers in the product, and then have a nice on-card immaculate option as like that next tier up for the little SSP auto patch pull. I like that. That's a great idea, dude. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So that's all I had for Chronicles. So far how are we liking the releases?
I'm in. You add Luminance into the mix. You get rid of Select as a standalone. Put that back in. Use your autographed memorabilias, which I know Panini says are the biggest chase for Select, and everybody wants them. But realistically, I this might be a hot take, but I think some of the parallels, the track sides, and some of the SSP, the one of ones, I think those overshadow most, if not all, of the autographed memorabilia. The Kaz Grallas, what have you, the Brennan Pools. The autographed memorabilia checklist, there was nothing I would write an article about and send to the news to put on and tell everybody about. Nothing crazy. But you look at some of the trackside, one of one, some of the trackside golds, the logo fractor. Also props for 2025 Select. The only thing I really like in that was the logo fractor. Very cool addition. The NASCAR logo fractor, awesome. And it's overlooked. It doesn't get enough attention, I don't think. Very great. Just a great looking card. And the track size have always been just a fun pull. You know it's rare. You know they're hard to pull. And you really get excited when you see one. Even the silvers, getting 2.5 per case, 3 per case at most. It's a great little pull. So you throw those into Chronicles, man, you're cooking with gas. I like that move. I like that move. Now, would Chronicles maybe go to 8 packs a box instead of 6? If we're adding in all those extra products, do you think maybe you have some extra, still keep it at 8 cards a pack?
Probably. Yeah.
But you go to 8 packs and maybe juice it up a little bit that way?
I'm probably going to 8 packs. I think the structure of the hits and auto stuff is actually fine. We're just going to have some more base-ish packs, I think, which also helps satisfy some of those people in the mid-end. Because I think it's going to end up being similar to like how old Prism was in like the 2021, 2022, where like there was just going to be a couple base packs, which is fine. I mean, there'll be some silvers in there, but they kind of have to be there to help.
But you're bringing the color wheel. You keep Immaculate, the Immaculate, the AK, the Spectras, those were always fun to pull. I didn't have an issue with those thicker, nicer portrait cards. I'm fine with that. Yeah. And then in your base pack without a hit or a thickie, you get a couple numbered cards. Maybe you pull one of those SP trackside parallels for Select in there, or a Luminance SP, like maybe a True Photo variation, something cool like that. I'd be in. I'd be in. I love Luminance because I love Stadium Club and Paddock Pass and all that.
Stadium Club's my favorite.
It's one of the best sets for all sports of all time. Stadium Club is just tried and true. So I like that, man. That's a great one. Now after Chronicles, you've axed Select.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the rest?
So this is I think this is going to be I don't consider this controversial, but for a lot of people, this would be the most controversial thing I'm going to probably do overall. This has a chance to quite literally boom or bust with the collectors, which I'm fine with taking a chance here on this. We're bringing back Turn 4 Racing.
Okay, I'm all ears.
But we're restructuring it differently, and we're moving this into a mid to high end release on the price scale.
Okay, where would it fall? Like above or below NT?
It's falling below NT, but it's going to come in at around $300 a box.
Okay. Retail?
Because it's to be a 3, and I think I have to preface this, the background of people who have never collected, who don't do other stick and ball sports. So the equivalent product in the other sports is going to be Panini and 1, Panini 1 and 1.
3 and 2 for baseball, right?
3 and 2 for baseball, yeah. And
what's the other one? Isn't there another one, 3 count for WWE?
Yeah, 3 count for WWE. You're correct.
Yeah.
And the spoiler alert here is this product has always been notoriously awful at returns. But the reason why it's still popular is because the hits you could pull out of here were like so exceptionally high end from this product, and it made things worth it. And I want to also keep in mind that my format is going to be closer to what we had. But the old format for 1 and 1 was disgusting to think about. It was literally just one on-card auto. That's all it was. It's just a single card box for about $600 to $700 in football. That was your Panini 1, Panini 4, whatever it is. So so I'm making this product $300 on the scale, which is high. I mean, it puts me into like a mid to high end.
It puts you where Prime should be.
Turn 4.
Where Prime should have been. That puts you at that level.
Oh yeah,
that's
a
fine
yeah.
level.
It should be. It's where Prime should have been. So I'm putting it at that $300 range. I'm okay with keeping it the 2 and 2 how they did it. Though the condition is we're going. I'm pretty sure this is how it was this year on card autos. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure everything I saw was on card. So we're doing that. But the sale here, and the reason why I had to explain the Donruss earlier is that all of the autos that we saw that were low end that we ended up putting in to turn 4, those are all going to go into Donruss. So Donruss is probably going to take a hit on the auto side of things, but all those Vinny Miller autos we're putting into Donruss because it's a $100 box. And we're going to have those like fun inserts in Donruss that always get you your money back. Like, what was it? 2023 had those Out of This World. So those are always $10, $20 cards.
Yeah, the blank slate, the blackouts, all those. Yeah,
we're going to do that. So that will have that value there. So $300. It's going to be those two. I've made the caveat that I'm okay including legends in this set, which like I should clarify, like like we need legends in the set, but like I'm okay if some of the legends end up skewing like not as big as a consequence. Like, and I think, and this is a personal opinion when I say this, I am more okay with pulling an old school legend that's like not as big compared to like a Vinny Miller who like is not going to do anything.
Yeah, give me an on-card Ernie Irvin, or give me an on-card Ricky Rudd, or an on-card.
I was gonna say like Ricky Craven, like some of those guys. Yeah, like I'm more okay with like, and like even if you want to tear it up a bit to like Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, like that's like I'm fine with that. So the chases here are going to be, we're putting Kavrooms back in this, but because of the raised box prices at 300, we are going to be including the golds out of 10 and the green Kavrooms 101s.
Good.
And that's to help, because if we're making them $300, we need to have some big chases, and those are going to be our chases.
Especially if Kavrooms are 1 per case like they were. Yeah. Having the parallels makes it, okay, great. The bases are, you're going to get one in a case, but now let's chase the gold and the green. That's what we're going for. That makes way more sense for a dual triple case type break, or even just grabbing 5 boxes from a case to open yourself. Yet the sky, the ceiling just is raised tremendously there.
And I want to clarify, like, the reason why I'm putting this at $300 is because I'm doing this so we can go out and we can go get Gordon and like these guys who need to be in product. Like, we're going to have more Gordon in this product. We're going to have more Jimmy. Like, we need these like guys in the product more. And that $300, so like maybe it's like you're more likely to hit a Gordon auto because like we want to put him more in this release. I don't know, but $300 gives us some playroom on the set.
I like it.
All right. Now the last two, if you've been counting, shouldn't be any surprise. I haven't mentioned them. It's going to be Prism and NT. So I'll go over Prism. I'll start with our chases, I guess. We're going to be chasing Color Blast, and we're bringing back mangas into the mix.
I like it.
I really believe they botched mangas in the first year of the NASCAR release.
It's horrible.
And that style, because if you've seen what they've done with mangas now, mangas are like one of the most popular like inserts in Prism for the other sports now.
$60,000 Steph Curry mangas getting pulled.
Yeah, because they figured out what the artwork should. Because the first year, I mean, they're still trying to figure out what the artwork should be for the mangas, and they've actually nailed them in football and basketball. I think in basketball,
they're tremendously cool. Way better.
They're in Prism Black. They're in Prism Black because Prism has multiple releases
That's
in
right.
the other sports.
Yep.
So we're doing the mangas and the Color Blasts. From a design product, it's going to go closer to the 2022-2021 version.
Good.
Of the like like a couple packs are going to be base, a couple are going to have a color, and like a couple of them are going to have autos.
How many autos do you? I
Um,
want to go back to 4 autos. I think Prism needs to have 4 autos.
See, this will be controversial. I'm going down to 2 autos
Okay, I'm
for
I'm all
Prism,
ears. I'm fully open to that if
and
you can back it up.
and the reason why we're doing that is I have the whole opinion that people do not want to pull $4 autos out of Prism.
Well, I agree with you there. I think we get a round of applause from everybody listening on that.
So, and I think and like I said, I'm creating this whole list as the thought as if I'm Panini and I have to run the business and manage the money. The easiest way to get better autos in it is to include less autos, so I don't have to have them sign as much and pay as much, and I can just put better autos in there. So that's why I have two, because I'm basically, and anybody who has seen Prism opened enough knows how Prism works. In 2022 and like basically all the years, the way it works, and I guess this is behind the scenes, is Panini will tier all their drivers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And they will assign drivers with a tier. So more or less, you're not going to hit like multiple Jimmy Johnson autos in a box, because they scale it so you're going to hit one tier 1 roughly in a box, is how it works. So basically, in this Prism, is what we're doing is, and I should also clarify that the price is going to is going to be close to what the Chronicles is. I'm open to going up or down from there.
That $200 range.
It could go up. It could go down to 150. I'm open to rough areas there. But my whole thought process here is like, I would rather, and I'm just gonna throw out random names. This is not disrespect. I would rather, like, in my 2 autos, I hit decent names than no names. Like, throw me, I don't know, like I'm gonna hit a Reddick auto as one of my autos, and then I'm gonna hit Cindric. Like, I want to like be able to hit like more cup autos from Prism, because I think that's a big deal to me.
So here's what my thought is on Prism.
Yeah, I want some of your thoughts, because I know like people have very different opinions. I know like you want to go to 4 autos.
Well, that's initially, yes. I always want more and I always want better. I'm just like any other collector. All right, that's or breaker, whatever you want to call me. However, this would be off of your release schedule you've gone through so far. If that all happened, if XYZ happened, and this was the next step, here's what I would want to see. I would want a 2 to 3 auto box, preferably 3, with 1 on-card auto. Maybe you pick 1 set. Maybe it's like this year they had a really cool set, the championship autos. Very cool. Driver with the trophy, victory lane. Very simple, very classy, very clean. Very, very well done. Simple. Not a lot of BS happening. No crazy designs. Just simple. A championship auto set. Give me those. Give me that. You pick 1 set of any auto set. I don't care what it is. Penmanship, spotlight, whatever. Pick 1. Those are on card. Redemption, so be it. That's an on card auto. The other 2, you're tiering them out. Maybe you get 2 tier 2s. Maybe you get a tier 2 and a tier 3. Maybe you get a tier 4 and a rookie. Whatever. Then you get 6 parallels. Leaves you 4 packs left. Right? Or you have 6 parallels and 3 autos. That's 9. You got 3 packs left. 2 base packs and 1 short print pack where you could hit the Color Blast, the Manga, a Stained Glass, a lower, like, the Stacks was a good one. I like that one from 2022. Stained Glass, honestly, I do like those. I miss them. I like Stained Glass. Or give me some other something. But that would
give me
be,
what were those? I think it was in 2023.
profiles.
It was like the one where they were holding the trophies, championship something.
I don't recall.
Anyways, there was one. I just remember this one Bobby Labonte card was really cool, of him like holding the championship.
Oh, championship trophies. Yeah, that's what it was. It was called championship.
Yeah,
the red ones. Yeah, the red and green ones. Yeah. Or something along those lines. Now maybe you drop off. Maybe you give me 5 good parallels. You keep them to 199 and less.
In my notes. I literally wrote all my numbers are to 199 or less.
Absolutely. There's no, and autos should be to 99 or less. I don't think there's any need for 149s or 299s or anything like that. And especially if you're doing, or whatever. They don't sell. Nobody needs them. It's extra bulk at this point in my opinion. It's just no need for a numbered 499 Prism. There's just no need for it.
The other thing that I'm bringing back that I don't know why they went away from this. It's unfathomable why they went away from this. We're also bringing back the base card autos.
Yes.
I don't know why Panini decided to get away from those. It leaves me speechless why I can't hit a true Connor Zilic with the base photo auto, and why they're all insert autos. I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
Why.
You're talking crazy. That'd be wild.
Especially considering they did it for every single other year.
I know. I know.
The last 5-6 years, and I think they stopped in 2024 and 25. So we're bringing those back. The base card design autos are stunning. I think those are some of the best ones. I think the last year was 23. True indeed.
But yeah, that's what I'd like. I'd like to see 2 to 3 autos, 5 to 6 parallels, 199 or less, autos 99 or less, one set is on card, a chance at a short print of some kind in every box, whether it's the big boy or a smaller end one, whatever. Your base pack with a couple, just, give us the red and blue hyper or your orange or whatever. That's fine. Load it up with base rookies and call it a day. I'm okay. I would be I'd be over the moon with something like that. I like your configuration too. Nothing wrong with it. I'd still open it. I still like it. But again, wanting more, being greedy, that would be a great medium or intermediary mixing meeting point. What I'm trying to say is it's somewhere in the middle. And I would like to see the white prism come back. Maybe make that the door number prism,
Interesting, yeah.
I like the black gold. I think it's clean. I love the black gold to 5. I'm not hating on it. But there's some about pulling the white whale. Just the white to 5 has always been, it's just a good looking card. In a white background prism with all of the color on our suits and cards, it's always looked good.
Give me, so I'm sorry, as I'm looking. I know, sorry, I'm kind of stalling here. I'm trying to see what the white, because the white prisms exist in other sets from Panini, so I want to see what they were numbered to.
So select was to 99.
So whites, so I guess this is just for in the other sports. I looked up Wemby, because I know Wemby has them. The Wemby the whites are usually numbered to 175. In the other sports. So if we want to be, but it just depends. In select, they're numbered to 35. So we can play around with it. I think door number is actually a fun thing, because I don't think we actually have the door. Do we have anything
Prism
door number now?
The only door number parallel we've ever had has been in Donruss.
Oh yeah,
the black paper door number. So I think in Prism, if you give me the white Prism, SVG to 97, Zilic to 88, Chase to 9, Larson to 5, I get, that's just me. That's just me as a collector really liking that white Prism and not having it on my Prism set. Do I like the white Prism in Select? I don't even know if I like that one. I'm not even a big Select white fan.
We have to keep the black and gold for because I also think part of a big thing of what I would be focusing on is bringing consistency across all the brands of sports.
100%.
And black and golds are a part of the other sports, and they have been for years. So we're gonna keep those.
Yeah, keep that as out of 5. Yeah, I like that 100%. I just have always wanted in my Prism release a door number set, a door number parallel of sorts. That's just me.
Actually, I can actually correct you. There were door numbers in 2016 Prism camos.
Okay, you know what? You are correct. Maybe that's where it stems from, wanting that back. Because those are some of the coolest, awesomest. I mean, how much fun did we have when we pulled that Rusty auto? I mean, that was one of
Yeah.
the best days I think we've ever had opening cards.
And I think you know what you made it right. We'll make those. We'll make those the retail exclusives.
Or
The
hell,
white.
bring camo back.
I
I'm
mean, we
okay.
can bring
Yeah,
camo back if we want, but let's bring something. Let's bring something into retail to make some retail fun. Because Prism can be a pretty tough. Prism can be a tough retail rip without.
Prism retail has been horrid since 2020.
Yeah, without hitting like a black finite, it's pretty bad. So let's bring in
It
some of those
hurts.
back.
It hurts.
All right, I'm going to my final release of the year, which is anybody is listening obviously knows it's gonna be NT because NT has to stay.
Yep.
Um, here's where we are. I'm going to a similar thought process as the turn 4. So I'm just gonna. You know what? I've usually been starting with the good. I'm gonna start with the tough news. As boxes are now $600 for NT.
Okay, that's
in my
fine.
format.
That's fine.
I had to clarify. White sparkles are going to continue to come back, so no change of the white sparkles.
Good.
The way I'm justifying the $600 is we're adding 1 to 2 more autos and taking out 1 to 2 more relics from the set. So I don't know what that ends up being for how many autos.
6 autos, 2 to 3 mems, and a base card. Chance at a booklet.
Something like that. Yeah. So the booklets are now going to be kind of chases. Or I have 2 chases, but books are going to be more of a chase for me. There are too many. The issue that books have run into is there's just too many bad books. Too many dual tires and too many dual fire suits.
Well, even this year they have single tire unsigned booklets, horizontal booklets, and it's your David Reagan's and such, and I'm like, okay, yeah, get rid of it.
The books should be a chase. So our books are going to be either out of 5s or 101s.
I like it.
That's going to be our books. And our big chase of what we're doing is I have them in quotation logo man. But it's going to be the NASCAR Sprint Cup logo patch auto 101s.
Yeah, the series sponsor patch.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing is if anybody has seen the series sponsor patches for basketball, like the logo mans, we're going to basically do that equivalent over, but for NASCAR. Basically, like this, it can be like look very similar, but it's going to be the NASCAR logo instead of like the NBA, the Jerry West logo.
Yeah,
those are going to be the 101 exclusives. And I think this is the thing that's really going to sell this product and this is where I'm being maybe slightly unrealistic, but I also don't think I'm being super unrealistic here, is the guys that they don't want to go out and get because they're either too expensive or because they're difficult to work with and they need to pay more money to get them. That's why we have the $600 price point.
Amen. Yeah. Increase the budget.
Like my example here is like, look, if like Bubba hasn't had autos in the last, I think 2 years of product for Panini. I don't need him to have a lot of autos. And I know he is not a big card guy and he hates signing the cards. As a Bubba fan, I know that. So what we're doing is with the $600 price point, it gives us more flexibility to pay them. And it's a lot easier for like somebody who hates signing the cards to say, hey, look, we need you to sign 25 cards for NT. That's it.
Or even
like,
50.
Look, if they're going to be,
exactly.
Yeah, like if they're going to be extremely difficult to work with and getting them in Prism and Donruss, as much as I would love to obviously get them, I get it. It's unrealistic if they're not going to sign them, they're not going to sign them. It's so much easier to catch the driver at the track and ask them to sign 25 cards. Or 50 cards. They could knock that out in 2 minutes. Like, I'm not asking them to sign thousands of autos. NT is going to be the chase product. So some of these guys who don't sign a lot, they have to be in the product. My goal here is that every single person... Oh, I guess I'm kind of... Every single person who started a cup race in that year, I want to try to get them to have one. That's why I said try. Because I know some of them with the one-offs are going to be tough to get. But I want to try to get anybody who's like significantly ran in the Cup Series to have the 101, these 101 like series logo patches.
No, that'd be great.
And that's why I'm justifying and why it's $600 is like this is going to be a stunning release celebrating high-end NASCAR. and we're gonna
No napkin
and
swatches, no
here's
white sheet metal
and this might
squares.
be I'm and I mean like I'm totally and maybe you can agree or disagree. I'm totally fine making this a lesser release, like making less boxes here. I'm fine with doing that. To cut out on some of like the out of 99 stuff and the out like the relics to 99 and the autos to 99. I'm fine cutting out some boxes to get rid of some of that stuff to make this just like a high end like best of the best thing. Like we're gonna have the premium patches. We're going back to 2021 premium patches with the large windows.
Yep, I
Like
like it.
we're going all out on this release to celebrate the end of the year for the sport and give some of these guys their best cards. And as a result, it's gonna be a big boy box. And
That's fine.
keep in mind, and like a $600 NT box is really nothing compared to like the 3,000, 5,000 NT boxes of the other sports. So like,
Yeah, you can buy a
I
case
don't
of
even
NT
think.
NASCAR for a box of NFL. So
I mean, like yeah. So that's why I'm doing that. Thoughts on that? What would you like to see in NT if that were something like that were to happen?
I'm okay dropping the cereal levels down a bit. You know, maybe instead of 99, you go to 75 or
I would go to
40,
75.
49, somewhere in there. Especially if there isn't going to be a bigger release down the road, right? If NT is it, if that's the ceiling, if that's the big papa release, great.
Yep.
Get there is nothing worse. And I know you gotta have up till today, you know, the normal. I get it. The napkin swatches and all that, whatever. NASCAR has too many opportunities between shirts, hats, suits, shoes, gloves,
Hmm.
helmets, windshields, driver nets, tires, good parts of the tire, right? Just use the sidewalls. That's all we need to use. I don't need tread. Give me good year swatches. Um, if you're gonna make it a little more high end, you know what else I'd like you to put in there is colossal tire jumbos.
Well,
Goodyear, and then a pair of wings. You number it out of 9, or you number it out of 8. Make the wings the one of one. Bring that back. We had it
I
in
got
press
something for you.
pass. Okay, I'm all ears. Hit me.
So another one of so I have two chases here. I forgot to talk about the second one. I have the logo, those series sponsor 101s, and this might be just because I am obsessed with these as cards, but we're bringing back the 2011 press pass burning rubber victory lane
That too.
autos.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
basically we're doing the
Amen.
thing where you have the race use winning tire that's going to go into the card, and they're going to be numbered to 10 or less. They're going to be incredibly hard to hit from this, but
Yes. I love that.
all of those tires are going to be from the races that driver won. We're bringing that back. If Press Packs could do it in 2011, Panini can do it in 2027.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Please, because
so we're
that
doing
would
that.
give you it's such a good chase. There are shout out to Dave. He works at Goodyear, and that's what he loves. He loves to collect great tire swatches, and not just because I know him and he works at Goodyear, but there are other guys that love the yellow and the blue, or the paint pen, the nipples, the lettering. That's all we don't need shredded up tire swatches that were cut into 1,000 pieces. Just get rid of that. You got, yeah, jumbo tire swatches, Goodyear. Number that to 8. The wings and the shoes, the Goodyear wings, one of one, all day, every day. Or give me jumbo tire autos. Give me that as a boy. That just puts you over the top. And then the
Yeah,
race win thing, dude. It's a brilliant way to get another chase, because let's just say you look at, and you could do that with not just the Cup guys, but even the O'Reilly parts, the Truck
exactly.
Series, right? You
Yeah.
you have everybody will have something to chase. Then, if your guy won 6 races, I want to get one of each for each race, or I want to, you know what I mean? That's a great idea. God, I love
Look
that.
here.
I
Like
love that.
I just want to put this out there. Um, like as because I like I said, I want NT to be a celebration of the sport. That's why it's gonna be this high end release.
It should be.
And so in this burning rubber, like, and this might be harder said than done. So I wouldn't commit to this as an idea. But like, you're telling me if I had as a chase as a hypothetical I'm just gonna go to last, like, because it takes a year. So basically, it would be in this year's release of whatever. I'll do the previous year's champion from that last race at Homestead. I would have that tire. So like, or whatever the champion wins the championship, they win at the race before. We're getting a tire from that race, and we're doing it as like this was the tire they're on when they won the Cup championship. They don't even need to win the race. If your driver wins the Cup championship, that's a card you have to have.
I like it.
You're going to be drilling over.
I like it. Now,
so even like if they don't win the race, it's still that same concept, but for winning the championship.
Now, the only thing I haven't heard you mention in all of your releases, I have great ideas. I have no gripes with any of it. I'm on board with it. I think it's on the right path. But with NASCAR gifting us the return of the chase to determine the King Poobah at the end of the year, or the Grand Poobah, how does Panini incorporate that into all the releases throughout the year? And what does that look like? I have an idea, but how would you bring that aspect into it throughout the year's product releases?
I'm gonna be honest and say I wouldn't incorporate it a ton, because I think the product that I've created could sell itself. That being said,
without a doubt, I don't.
That being said, I haven't necessarily thought about ways to include the chase. I know you mocked up like an insert idea for ad campaign, so maybe something like that could be interesting.
Yep, I have that insert idea for the Donruss, but what I was thinking is, with select football and basketball, they have the XRC rookie redemptions.
Correct.
You don't know who it is till the draft, right? Mm-hmm. What if, and just hear me out here, as much as they love redemptions, maybe this would be a way to say, okay, we, fill in this gap here, that gap here, and do an XRC type redemption for your top 4, or maybe you make it the final 8, the round of 8. I don't know, something along those lines, right? I haven't thought past that, but it was something that came to me the other day. I was like, imagine opening up your $100 box of Donruss and pulling a Platinum Hollow Blue redemption for NASCAR Cup Series champion number 1, or Cup Series playoff number 1, which would be your champion auto. And then you get to hold that all year. You redeem it. You wait all year. You're following. You're more into the sport. You're following the sport closer, which is good. That was great for NASCAR. That's great for the collectors. And then you get down to it. You say, "Oh my God, my boy Tyler Reddick's in the Final Four. Oh, okay, he's got a shot here. He's not Final Four, but he's one of the top 4 guys going in the last couple of races. Oh, he won. Okay, great. He's going head to head with Denny for the championship. Whoever wins it, you know what I mean." Now you have a little more from the collector side. You get to have a little more fun throughout the entire season. Maybe having pulled that, and then maybe you're doing for Chronicles. Maybe you throw one into Turn 4, whatever. Throw one into NT, the championship tire, or the whatever. Something along those lines, I think would help bridge what I see as a small gap for your collectors, your NASCAR enthusiasts, and your average everyday collector, right? So that would just give it a little more full circle. Now, I don't know how complicated that would be. I can't imagine it would be wildly hard having redemptions already.
They do it for XRC. They do it in Select. So
right.
They know how to do it.
And those guys pull them, in the fall? Usually those come out, and then they got to wait for the draft in July or April or March or whatever it is.
I would say they come out like winter-ish.
Yeah, it's end of the season, a few months. But then they gotta wait and see who's that number 1 draft pick gonna be in April or March or whenever the draft is.
Yeah, because there's enough time where people speculate in the buildup of like sometimes it's an obvious number 1 pick and they're like, oh, I know this is gonna be so and so. But there are often times where it's like, I got wide receiver 2. I don't necessarily know it could be between this guy or this guy. And you're hoping you get the right one that you like. I like that. I don't even think they necessarily need to be autoed cards. I think they could be just incredibly short printed. Like, what was that? There was a set that topped. This is kind of a niche set. Do you know in 2020, it was 2024, Topps Chrome, they did like the award winners insert sets number to 24,
Uh-huh.
like 2024 year.
Yes.
Do something like that, where it's like a championship, like a celebration of the chase. You can make it to number to 4, or do the round of 8, make them all numbered out of 8. So 8 guys that are out of 8, so 64 of them total. Something like that, because like in baseball, they had 24 of the Skeens and 24 of the Otanis. And I think something like that could be interesting. They don't even need to be signed, I don't think, from the big cards.
I like that. Yeah, I kind of something along those lines, and then maybe make the Platinum Hollow Blue the auto. Do one auto, and then the rest just a cool insert of sorts. Maybe make it a thicker stock, like a 130 point, like a thicky. I don't know. I like that, but that's something I think that would just be a fun item that we haven't had for decades, basically, since Press Pass. And it was everybody's, the cup chase, the cup chase, the cup chase, the cup chase, the cup chase. Bring it back and put a twist on it and have there be a reward for pulling that card in March or April. And then when the races are over in November, bada bing, boom, there's your card. It's going to be Larson, or it's going to be Denny, or it's going to be whoever. That would be fun. I would enjoy that too. And again, you could even do it, if you want to get crazy, you could do it at the O'Reilly's, you could do it at the truck level. Not as expanded, obviously, but do like you're just have the winner. Just have an XRC type redemption for the Truck Series winner, the O'Reilly Series winner, and then you got some skin in the game the whole rest of the season.
Yeah. I like it.
Which is good. I like your plan, man. I hope this doesn't fall on deaf ears of those in Texas, but it's I don't think there's a lot of people that would disagree with most of that. I know there's a small chunk of people that want boxes to go cheaper, and they want things cheaper, and the cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
No,
cheaper is not always better.
No,
cheaper is not always better. You can buy the brand name starter for your car when it goes out, or you can buy the aftermarket refurbished remanned one from some website you've never heard of that's coming from across the world. Cheaper is not always better. There's always going to be highs and lows, but I also think the other thing that backs up your plan is look at some of the comps we've had this year for 2025 product. It has been outstanding, and that has brought up some older product comps for some drivers. There's been some sales of certain drivers that haven't really been selling. It's been very, very good, and it's a good thing for the hobby. And I'll tell you this much: it's only a matter of time before the stick and ball guys who are Prism dedicated, NT dedicated to football and basketball, when those licenses are gone and they're opening up unlicensed stuff and they're not enjoying it as much, they are going to turn to soccer, and they're going to turn to NASCAR. They're going to turn to the other options that are available for license, because that's what they like to open. And when those guys start buying it, they're going to start selling it. They're going to want to try and make their money back, because that's the name of the game on that side of the pond. So it's a good plan, dude. I like it. I really wouldn't change much of anything, to be honest. Getting rid of Select, I'm all for. It just doesn't have that pop. It hasn't really slapped. The only difference I would make is I would slip in an additional release if the budget was there. And the only product I want to come back, other than Chronicles, the Chronicles replacement platform you laid out is perfect. The only other product I would want to add in at some point would be a Torque type product. 5 packs, 5 hits, limited base, couple numbered cards.
You and your Torque, man. It's you and your Torque.
But it's fun. It's just a good value box. And if we never get a 1-pack, if we never get a Donruss Optic set, or we never get an Immaculate or another higher end set of Flawless or whatever, Eminence, Opulent, we're never going to get those most likely. So that could be a slip in for just super high end memorabilia and autos. It just could be an option down the road. I know less. As a breaker, I like less packs, more hits, less base. As a collector, I also am in that boat. I don't necessarily chase sets. I don't really need the bulk. Everything I open personally, most of that bulk gets donated or sold anyways by the pound. So I just don't need it. But your layout, man, is very good. It's solid. I think it would do no harm at all, and it would boost our little niche of the hobby here to that next level. It would put us back on the map where we should be. Personally, that's my take. I really don't have any issues with anything you laid out at all, especially your Donruss plan. It's beautiful. It's the way it should be.
Thank you. Do we want to talk about like the state of NASCAR car? I know that was on the menu.
Yeah. Go
overall,
ahead.
Where I mean, I'll let you talk a little bit first, just to give your thoughts on where things shake out. What are your overall thoughts on where we fit into the landscape of every other sport and cards?
Well, I still think we're still kind of considered the oddball non-sport quote. That's heavy. I'm doing heavy quotations here. Non-sport to many other collectors in the card space. The redheaded stepchild, if you will. To us, we're not. To us that are in the space, we get it. We're in it. We like it for what we like it for. But I think there's still this lens that casts a shadow on our part of the hobby that makes us look like, no, there's no value, there's no reason to open it, it's not as cool, whatever. And I think part of that problem is the outreach to NASCAR fans outside of the cardboard world is minimal to nothing. I don't see, if you scroll through Panini's Instagram, you're going to see what? 1 to 2 posts around the release, 1 to 2 posts around the Daytona 500 to show off the big giveaway they do. Other than that, they're not sharing anything. They're not posting anything like Topps does. They just don't include NASCAR in the forefront, which is a shame, as they should, because if you're not proud of the product you're putting out, you got to either change the product or, well, I don't need to finish that sentence. So that's my initial take. I will say this, like I said earlier, over the last year, the communities as a whole have grown internally. More sellers, a lot more buyers, a lot more trading has been going on. But with that comes bad sellers and scammers and bad deals. That's part of the hobby. You got to do your best to navigate those muddy waters the best you can and protect yourself from that stuff. I still see people getting scammed over $30 cards, and it just blows my mind. You got to look for those red flags. And I think that's the unfortunate part of our hobby, being a little bit smaller than the stick and ball side. We are more prone to that, but I think it's on the right track to getting a little better overall there. But the connection between your diehard diecast guys, your diehard NASCAR merch collectors, and your diehard card guys, we got to find a way to bridge those and bring them all together. Get the word out, because I don't know how many times I've been at the track, dude, down in the pits with cards. But hey, where'd you get those? Did you make those? No, these are from a box I got at Walmart or a hobby box. And they're like, where do you get those? And there's just, I mean, the last 5 years I've gone to the Phoenix races, and it's every single time, where do you get those? I'm like, well, here, have a stack. And they're like, oh, they just love them. Just a little stack of base cards. But them not knowing that they're available, because they're not sold at the tracks, and if they are, they're in a hall. Apparently, I was not in Daytona, but I heard that there was a merch hauler there selling Donruss blasters and select blasters for $65, I believe. I don't have a picture of it. I was not there. That's just what I was told by one person. That doesn't help, because if your first exposure is to a triple priced blaster and you get nothing, or you don't understand what you're opening, maybe you do get a big hit, but you don't know, they're not going to come back. They're going to get turned off to that instantly. It's not like diecast where you can go spend $130 and you get the color chromatic double fancy paint layer with the DIN door and an autograph, and it's limited to 503, and you know what you're getting. It's a different world. So getting that reach out there, and I know they had drivers open some boxes at the tracks over the summer and at some of the races, and you give the cards out. But again, okay, great, but why? It's just, most people just, it's a giveaway, free. Get them involved, get them signed up for the newsletter, get them signed up for something, make them, I don't know, follow something. It's one of my biggest gripes. I just don't feel like there's enough push from the manufacturer, aka Panini America, to go and acquire new collectors and bring collectors to the space. Bring NASCAR fans over to the card space. I don't think it happens, and it definitely doesn't happen enough. I just don't even know if it happens at all, really. And I think it's more detrimental having give a driver a box to open, they make a little 30-second reel, and then again, it's only going to go out to the people that are following Panini America or following that specific driver, and they might not even still understand what it is. You see the drivers open the box, they don't even know what they're really looking at. So I could sit on this high horse all day about the advertising and this and that, and it's not like NFL and NBA where those guys are going to they are going to search out those cards. They are going to find them. They're going to get them. They know they exist. I tell you, there's a lot of people that just don't know NASCAR cards are a thing. They just don't. And that's the biggest bridge that needs to be built. Bring them over, and there needs to be an education aspect. There needs to be a introduction aspect. There needs to be an overall, hey, we're here. We're waving our flag. Come on over. It's fun over here. These guys like diecast too, but they also like this stuff. Why don't you come check it out? Does that make sense? Did I go a little overboard there?
No, I think I've talked about this with you a little bit. I just have the opinion that I think, and I want to clarify this. Well, I very much do love a lot of what Panini America has done. But I think the way they're going about acquiring new fans is just not the right way to go about it. And by fans, I mean NASCAR card collectors is what I mean by that. I know you were talking, and we've had this conversation a bit, but people in NASCAR tend to collect three things. They'll collect cards, they'll collect diecasts, and then they'll collect other merch. Would you say that's right or wrong?
Yes, and with other merch including sheet metal, bumpers, doors, correct, team hats, stuff like that. Yes, I agree.
Yes. So they fall into three categories, and I will die on this hill. Whether Panini America agrees or disagrees with me, that's totally fine, but I will die on this hill that you cannot convert diecast fans or merch fans into card collectors. You cannot do it. And the reason you can't do it is because they have already found what they enjoy. If they are diecast people, they do it because they enjoy diecast. If they are merch, they do it because they like merch. If they are cards, they like the cards. I just disagree with the idea of that the way to grow NASCAR cards is to go for generic NASCAR fans. I think that's doing things wrong. And quite frankly, it's way more cost inefficient to do that. I think you have such a difficult time to convince somebody who doesn't do any type of collecting to collect cards. It's going to cost way more in acquisition than it will be to go after somebody who already collects cards, but they just don't collect NASCAR yet. You want to have thoughts? You have thoughts where I keep talking?
No, I agree, and I kind of went off the tracks, and I do think there's always going to be an aspect of, okay, if they're in diecast, maybe there's a chance they'll try cards, and vice versa. I know a few guys that have come from diecast and gotten into cards, and cards that still do diecast and etc. And it always comes down to the budget and the space and the availability and what they're chasing. But I am 100% on board with getting people that are in the card space that are NASCAR fans but haven't taken that step to NASCAR for whatever reason. Whether they don't really know about it, they've never enjoyed it, they don't like it, or you go and get the guys that don't know about it, that are in, like you said, in the card space. They love soccer, they love WWE, they like Pokemon, they like whatever. If they're in the space, introduce them to this product, because we have some of the best memorabilia available, some of the coolest autographs on the planet. You're not going to see a single letter auto with an @ sign on anything. Majority of our guys know how to sign. Nick Sanchez and Sammy Smith excluded from that. But most of our guys can say, well, Gio needs some help.
I love Gio.
Gio's a good dude, but yeah, he needs a little help. Gio, we need a little help on that auto. But yeah, I think there needs to be a transfer of interest from those in the space already. Get them into the racing side, because clearly this last year, if there's ever been a year to show somebody comps and say, okay, it makes sense to open this. Even if you don't really collect a certain driver, maybe they watch a race or two. Maybe they pique their interest. And I'm gonna throw this out as an analogy for the listeners. Think of it like your Drive to Survivors that watched that series before they ever watched an F1 race, right? They're on Netflix. They're in the Netflix space. They brought F1 to that market, and then now they're buying the shirts, they're buying the cars, they're buying the diecasts, they're watching the races, and they're all of a sudden a Charles Leclerc fan or a Daniel Ricciardo fan because they saw him on Netflix one day. So it can be done. It can absolutely be done. But again, you go for the people in the space, show them that it's available, show them what it can do, show them how fun it is, show them that the variety and the vast availability is there, and continue to make the products better and more expansive as we grow. And it will only do two things. It'll make it easier it'll be more product. You're going to have more cars hitting the market. Breakers can only open up so much product. People can only open up so many solo boxes. It's going to get more product onto your secondary market, and it's going to make it easier for the diehard card collectors to find what they're looking for that they can't find. There's positives to all of it. And I'm sure someone twist and say, I don't want some stick and ball guy opening up my Prism hobby. Okay, well then you go buy the box. You go open it. Okay? It can't sit on the shelf for 15 years. It ain't going to do anybody any good. So I like that going after the market that's already there and just being like, hey, come try this. Just come give it a whirl. See if you like it. Maybe you hate it. Okay, great. Well, you spent $100. It's much better than buying your $900 Prism Football unlicensed box, right? You know, and getting an 8th round O lineman auto. I think that's probably better.
I have a couple of just tough truths about the card space. I'm sure you can agree with this. NASCAR fans, and especially the collectors, are some of the most stubborn people you could ever meet in cards and just the fans. They are stubborn. They are stubborn in the sense that they hate change, and they want it to return to the status quo.
There's some truth to that. Yeah.
And the reason why this really frustrates me specifically is, Jordan, I know you get this, is a common sentiment in the hobby that doesn't really exist in the NASCAR card scene is, what are we doing to help our kids collect in the future?
Amen.
That's a huge point that, Topps has driven home, especially.
Yes.
And like the big YouTubers of like, what are we doing? Whether you're not doing anything, that's fine. But like, how are we creating this space for kids to be able to thrive in? And the reason I say this is that NASCAR fans are so stubborn and that they don't care about getting children involved in the sport, especially in cards, that I'm going to pose a hypothetical to you, Jordan. I just want you to tell me what you think would happen in this situation, okay? Little Timmy got into collecting, and his dad watches NASCAR, okay? He lives out in the West, where we're from. He lives out in the West. His dad watched NASCAR. So as a result, he got into it, and he has a few NASCAR cards. Cool. Now, since getting kids into the hobby is a big deal, he's going to go to his local kids trade night. All right? He's going to his local kids trade night. All he has is his NASCAR cards. And I don't care what people say. Kids are vicious and mean. What are they going to do to this poor kid who walks in with only NASCAR cards when they do football, basketball, Jordan? I know you know what's going to happen.
Well, there'll be a lot of pointing, laughing, there'll probably be some snickering. I mean, the hobby can be pretty vicious, of course.
And
it's
and I was going to say, yes. And the reason why this happens is the simple fact that NASCAR is not considered cool by the general population, especially amongst kids.
Correct. And I think that comes back to, I mean, NASCAR itself have finally started to address, I think, that where is the next generation fan coming from?
Yeah, and like just
where are they?
Yeah, NASCAR is not considered popular amongst the kids, and the reason kids consider something popular is because somebody they look up to or like does it, and they think that as a result that is cool. The reason why a lot of the kids like the football and the basketball is because their favorite YouTuber they watch loves it.
Correct.
Their favorite YouTuber, I always throw out Car Collector too because I think he's actually really good with the kids overall with the trades nights and stuff. It's a known thing that like he loves his Buckeyes, he loves football, basketball, he loves F1. Does not like NASCAR because he is not into it. If you want to make NASCAR cards, in quotations, cool, you need to target these big collectors that the kids look up to. And I'm not saying to artificially make things cooler than they should to, because that's not cool. And that's just going to put you in an even worse spot when that goes away as a fad. But you should be looking for ways to get these YouTubers involved and just casually getting into NASCAR more and more and more. I think return on investment, it is the best thing you could possibly do.
Availability as well.
Yeah, they're going to be available. They're willing to do it. Like, it's not going to be that expensive. And if kids see somebody they look up to doing something that they think is cool inherently, and the YouTuber says, "Oh, this is pretty cool," that kid's going to be interested in looking into learning about it more. And yeah, you have any thoughts on that before I keep talking?
Yeah, no. The cost to enter the space is the lowest out of, other than golf or tennis, is really the lowest out there. And having the availability to get product, or the available product readily available, I guess is what I'm trying. The product's readily available. Compared to even trying to get Pokemon for your kids, it's difficult. It's almost impossible right now, especially out here in Arizona. It's impossible. I was at Target the other day, and I was third in line. I was picking up some Optic basketball for a buddy, or some NBA Chrome for a buddy, and there happened to be a booster bundle and a 3-card pack, and I grabbed them, and I walked back to the end of the line. I said, "Anybody here for Pokemon?" There's a dude and this kid there. I was like, "Here you go, take them, buy them." And I knew if I didn't take them, they weren't going to be there 8 people more. They weren't going to be there. It wasn't going to be there. It's a tough space to be in, especially when your kid's into a certain item, whether it's One Piece, Pokemon, golf, basketball, WNBA, don't matter. It can be very expensive, and it can be very hard to get those items if that's something you choose to do as a hobby with the kids. And I don't have kids, but I have a lot of my customers, a lot of my friends, they all have kids. They're all in the hobby with them, and I think it's fantastic. Hobby dies without more and more younger generations getting into it, regardless of who it is and where it is. So it would be nice to see, like the Topps Rip Night type deal. Panini really doesn't do anything. Maybe they don't have the budget for it. I don't know. But that could be a thing. They could also do stuff at the track. They could do, I mean, hell, but you look at Parkside Collectibles. Shout out to Parkside. They are at every IndyCar race. They are in Indiana. They are at Indianapolis. They just did 100 days to Indianapolis 500 party. Had 5 different special autograph cards printed, ready for the drivers to sign to give to fans and their kids. That's just one. They do so much there. They have haulers, they have merch, they have their cars, their hangers, their hobbies, whatever's available. They have it at the track. They're introducing customers to it. They're getting them involved. They say, "Hey, just so you know, this is available. If it's something you end up liking, we have it." And that's not something Panini, I think, does at all, because I'm going to say it, I don't know if they really care that much about it. I really don't think at the end of the day there's not one bean counter at Panini saying, oh, we gotta get more NASCAR, they're just not a thing. They don't care. I hope that tune changes now with the loss of the licenses with the big two. I really hope that tune changes, but I like where your head's at on that, and it's just like with NASCAR as a sport. They know, hey, we need to find the next batch of fans that want to watch Gio, and they want to watch Caden Honeycutt, and they want to watch Lane Riggs and Corey Heim, and they want to watch Zane, and they want to watch these guys grow with the sport as these other guys start to retire at some point. Because you can't race you could race a long time in this sport, but there's a lot of these guys I don't know if Kyle Busch races past 2028. I bet you he starts to focus on helping Brexton in his career. I think he would enjoy that more.
Denny's done next year.
Denny's probably done next year. God love him. Incredible run last year. Obviously some tragic, with the passing of his dad is horrible. You hate to see that type of stuff, but that's part of the sport. That helps that drivers make decisions on that in the sport. So I would say at the end of the day, NASCAR's got to find their own fan base, period. And I really deep down, I believe that the cardboard community has some sort of maybe you call it a responsibility, or maybe I don't know, but I think there's enough influence there to bring fans to the sport and be like, hey, just so you know, this is here if you like it. Just like Diecast is here if you like it. You can get bumpers, you can get all this cool stuff from the Racing Warehouse or eBay or whatever. It's all here for you. You can collect, you can get into it. Maybe they find the sport for the first time and say, this is awesome. They go to a race with their buddy for whatever reason, it happens. So yeah, getting that word out, but again, shout out to Parkside. They really do it well. They really do it well.
Parkside's great.
Parkside is great. And they are a very tiny company compared to Panini. They're sometimes I think they work out of a 4-office space sometimes with how much they get done with the smaller crew that they have. It is remarkable. But they have got people at the race and then not just at the race day, not just at the Grand Prix. They've got people there at practice, at qualifying, at the driver meet and greet, the media day. They're handing out cards to kids. They're handing out cards to fans. Hey, just so you know, go over here, grab you a hanger box, brand new release. You can pull an autograph. What? Oh, it's only $12. Cool. That type of stuff we just don't get. And I've even reached out to track like Phoenix Raceway. For those of you who know, I live here. Currently, I'm here in Phoenix, not for long anymore. But I have tried to be a vendor at the last 4 championship weekends here in Phoenix, and I have been denied each time because they didn't think that my booth would have enough value to give me a spot in the vendor midway. But you got 6 different places to buy corn dogs and 8 different places to buy lemonade. So take that for what it's worth. But they didn't think having a card booth with live breaks and giving out free packs to kids with Sharpies to go and try and get stuff signed they didn't think it made sense. I even got ghosted last year. I was like, yeah, we'll call you back next week. I must have called 6-7 times, email, I still haven't heard back on any of that. So I'd be willing to do it. I know I could probably, there's probably a dozen guys in the space that would love to do that at the track for a day on the race weekend. And just, hey, here you go. Here's some cards. Go in a Sharpie. Once you head down to the pit road, you got a pit pack. Yeah, get down and try and get some stuff signed. Or here, open this pack. Whatever. It doesn't take a lot. It's minimal effort. But I think the impact would be very, very good. And if you're going to a race for the first time with your dad or mom or whatever, you're there with the family and you get a pack of cards and you somehow get Michael McDowell or somebody to sign up for your favorite driver, boom, core memory, it's engraved. And when it comes down to marketing and consumer, all that happy jazz, that's how you make a customer. That's how you get a fan. That's how you get a customer. It's just what you got to do. You got to do it. You got to have the grassroots campaign for a grassroots sport. We just don't have it.
One of my biggest memories was my first ever NASCAR race. I ended up getting a diecast signed by a then Nationwide Series Joey Logano in like 2008 or 9. I got a Joey Logano auto on a diecast. So that was a cool thing for me. Jordan, I'm gonna pivot, I think, to some good news. We talked about it a little bit, but just like the overall state of the market side of things.
Yeah,
Because the market's been really, really good. A lot of big sales, I think. I would say,
massive
like
sales.
like you said earlier, I don't know if you're breaking this up into or if it's just one long thing, but
No,
like
one big thing.
one big thing, like the this year or 2025, I should say, was the biggest growth year I've seen in NASCAR cards,
Without a doubt. In
which
secondary
is great to
market,
see. Correct.
yes, I agree.
And my definition of that is by watching the high end market. I think the high end market is the teller of what's desirable and what's not desirable because ultimately they are the people who spend the money
100%.
on the big cards. So the trends are easy to see. Like it's hard to see a trend on a base, like a random base silver. I can see the trends with the 101 sales really clearly. Who's gaining popularity and who's losing popularity. And this year, a lot of big sales.
Tons. I mean, we had our biggest, I'm pretty sure one of our biggest National Treasure sales, single one-of-one auto sales with the Connor Zillich rookie auto, going for what was it, $4,300?
43, 46, somewhere in there.
Something crazy, which is great. And then I think the other one sold for $2,650, which I had it pegged at $2,750 was my guess. So another great sale. And you've also seen a big boost in the Richard Petty, the Dale Seniors, the old school cards, the cards that have never really gotten enough love. Those have all started to come up. And I think people have realized, okay, this is something I need to have or I want to have. There's not many of them. And it's good. It's been very good. I mean, Kyle Larson's market's probably gone up a good at least 80% this year over year. Not just volume of sales, but total, cost of his cards. I mean, whether it's the championship or whatever. I think people are just starting to value these things a little bit better overall. And I don't see as many sale posts on the Facebook side, which is mainly where I dwell. Those are the waters I swim in, where I'm like, I have to buy this because it's so cheap. I don't see as many of those anymore.
I was going to say, which is a good, I mean,
it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Selfishly, it's bad for me because I do the same thing.
Right.
But
at the end of the day, if people are they're finding the right values for these cards, it's a beautiful thing to see. And I don't, because there's nothing that grinds my gears more than a card I wouldn't mind having. And I'm like, oh, that'll be $300-400, and I see it posted for $75, and I miss it by 5 minutes. It drives me absolutely batshit crazy. So, but I have not seen, and credit where due to the community, I have not seen a ton of stuff getting sold for way under market, way under what it should be, which is good. Because what that just recycles back into the hobby. Most of the people that are selling these cars are probably going to go buy into more breaks, buy more singles, buy more boxes to rip, whatever. And it's just good. I think it's good overall. For those of you that grade your cards, being able to sell some stuff for a few more bucks, maybe you can slab a few more cards. Which is not that'll be its own separate episode, by the way. We have an episode we're going to do on grading and NASCAR, and it's going to blow your guys' mind. That'll probably be a 3-hour conversation. I'm very excited to do that, by the way. That'll probably be the next thing we record next week, if you're down for that, Noah.
I'm fine.
That'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one. Especially with everything going on in the grading world. I'm not going to touch on it now because it's crazy, but it's chaos. And yes, but to get back on track, it's been an incredible year of comps. It's been an incredible year. The number of sales, especially on eBay, has been outstanding. I personally, I'm closing in from it was May 1st or April 20th, April 21st last year. I started my first auctions on eBay, and we're gonna hit 4,000 items at the end of this month. So, and that's all. That's 99% NASCAR. So thank you. Yeah, it's been great. Auctions are selling, and it's everything from I sold I think 14 $2 to $10 cards last week to one guy, but I also just sold my BJ McLeod Rainbow. That was for $269.69. Shout out to the meme price. There's also been cards that people, I don't know how many times, that'll never sell. And then it sells because if it's not available and people don't see it, they don't know that they can buy it. And if those prices go up a little bit, great. If they go down a little bit, so be it. They send an offer, we make a deal. But there's been so much activity on that secondary market, whether it's eBay, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Reddit. I know there's a lot of sales on there, whatnot. There's just, it's been incredible. And that's only going to recycle money back into the hobby again for whatever facet that you're involved in. It's just going to make it, it's good. It's good.
I mean,
and I love it.
One of the good things I think that has been really good to see is this year more than most is that if I posted something like a high end on eBay at a fair price, more often than not, it was getting bought really quickly.
Absolutely.
Which is what I noticed this year, especially. I could buy something and I could sell it and make some money on it. I would put it at what I think is fair market value for it, and I would get sales very quickly. And this is one of the things that I actually appreciated is I had a message or two. I can't remember if it was one guy or multiple guys, but he sent me a message saying, thank you for pricing your cards at what a true market value is and not being insane one way or the other.
Yes.
Like I sold some 101 autos for like $250. Like that, I think it was basically right in line with what the comp should be. Maybe I threw like 10 or $20 above, but like they're right in line with what they should have been. And as a result, people thought they were fair and they bought them.
Correct. And I'll be the first to admit, there's probably somebody watching or listening right now that says, I've seen your eBay. You got some crazy price shit. I do. There are some cards on my eBay that I have no intention of them ever selling for the price that they're at. But people click on them. They come to the store, and I can tell you right now, in the month of December, my Kyle Larson 1/1 finite card that's priced 4 times higher than it should be was responsible for almost $6,000 in sales. So sometimes you got to market a little crazy, but I have offers turned on all those crazy price cards. People can make an offer if they'd like to buy it. But it's also cards, if it sells, great. If it doesn't, I don't care. I'd love to keep it. It's fine with me. But like you said, if you price the stuff that you know there's a certain market, that there's a tried and true confirmed market on, figure out where to price it and put it up and make it available. 9 times out of 10, it's going to sell. And it's going to sell relatively quick, which, I mean, even last spring starting off, we were a little slow, but come the summer and as NASCAR, the hype towards the end of the year goes, people are on eBay, they're looking for cards, they're buying cards. Some of my stuff has probably 30 to 50 watchers on it still. And as those grow, they end up just getting sold because people don't want somebody else to get it. But yeah, you're right, man. It's gotten better. And I think being able to make deals on these higher end cards and people seeing a Larson Gold Vinyl auto sell for $1,300 at bids, or a Richard Petty Gold Vinyl auto sell for $1,100 plus at bids, gives them the confidence that, hey, if I go and I get in on breaks or I buy some boxes and I hit some stuff, there's a chance if I need to sell it for stuff I don't collect, I can maybe get some money back to go buy what I want. It gives you a little bit more hope in that regard as well. So, and to preface, Noah and I both know it's not all about the money. That's not the core.
Trust me,
But this is a but. Profit isn't a dirty word, and sometimes if you can turn that card to be able to go buy what you want, well, great. Like the BJs I sold, that money is strictly going to buy some SVG stuff for me to throw in the vault because that's what I'm collecting heavy right now. Without that sale, my budget would be $300 less. So it just depends. Everybody's a little different on it. If somebody messages me a picture of their collection and say, "Hey, I'm going to make you a deal. I'm not a monster," and neither is Noah, and most people aren't. But at the same time, you're not just going to get a freebie deal because you're whining and moaning about it and you think it's overpriced because you don't want to spend the money. Those days are coming to a close. So, and that's okay. It's just part of the hobby. Boxes are going to become more expensive over time. They already have. Everything, blah blah blah, market inflation, costs, you name it, all the economic BS it is what it is. So it's part of it. But it has been so exciting to watch. And for those of you that have been buying these big cards, congrats to you. I don't think it's a bad buy. I don't think I've seen anything like, holy crap, that's wild, in a bad way. I don't think there's anything that's sold where I'm like, that's dumb. No, if that's what you're into, if that's what you're going, go get it. That value will be there as long as you have that card. So, because a lot of guys say, well, the stick and ball market doesn't work like NASCAR. Well, sure, because our guys aren't spraining their ankle every Tuesday.
I want to talk about this so bad. I want to talk about this so bad.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I recently had this thought, and it is actually, I don't know, I would say it's very much made me think about the NASCAR market differently. But so many people compare NASCAR to stick and ball sports. Like them, I would say it's probably unfair.
Correct.
You want to know the best market to compare NASCAR to is, and you might think this is a little weird, but I think you'll understand why.
I would say it's somewhere between. I'd say between WWE and Disney, somewhere in that.
Bingo.
That
WWE,
range.
I think, is the best comp to NASCAR.
Yeah, I think so.
Because fundamentally, the sports have way more in common than you think they do, in the sense that they are both individually driven.
Yes.
In WWE, you have your wrestler. In NASCAR, you have your driver. Okay, WWE obviously does this much better because it is a soap opera in a sense, but storylines follow NASCAR throughout the year in the same sense that they follow WWE. They go to a ton of different cities and places around the country every single year. And the TV numbers and the attendance numbers are generally kind of comparable, if you will.
Agreed.
Now, I don't want to shock anybody here, but I'm going to do something just really, really simple. I am going to go to Card Ladder. I'm going to type in WWE 101. And I'm going to filter by all-time top sales. Jordan, you want to take a guess what the all-time top sale is on a WWE card?
$16,000. That's my guess.
Let me preface this that there's one that's way above the rest.
But I'm thinking like a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or a Stone Cold type superfractor thing. Yeah.
I want to preface this that I know this was paid for because this was on Fanatics Premier. So that's why I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Because it was Fanatics Premier. The Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Black 101 Prism base card from 2022 sold for $126,000.
Jesus Christ. I was not expecting that.
Now, wow. I preface this by that is so much higher than the rest of them. But for cards that are similar, like for example, that same year Stone Cold on Golden sold for $21,000.
Okay.
From 2024 Prism, John Cena's Black sold for $18,500. From 2022, Cena's Black sold for $17,000. The Rock's 2023 sold for $17,000. So I'm saying this that like WWE's market, their top guys can get into the 5 figures pretty easily. Whereas in NASCAR, that's more or less unheard of. Like the amount of 5-figure plus sales in NASCAR could probably go on one hand, maybe 2 hands.
5-figure? I don't even know if we have a 5-figure, do we?
I mean,
1 or 2. Yeah, you're right.
You have the Earnhardt 7 Wonders. I think that did like $10,000 at one point, and then you have the Petty PSA 10.
And then the Medallion 1010 auto that did.
Yeah,
what did that do? Like 11,000 or something.
Something, but like
you're right. So less than one hand. You're right. You are correct. Yep, that makes sense.
My point is like they are so incredibly rare here, but like those sales that I just said. And I get it; those are the all-time greats. Like that, the equivalent there would be like what the Petties do,
right?
But like, even if the Petties ended up doing a third of those numbers, that means the Petty Gold Vinyl True or the Petty Black Finite True would be a $4,000 to $5,000 card.
Which doesn't seem crazy to me. I mean,
no, but that's the perspective. Crazy. That's the perspective I'm putting into NASCAR. You could buy that card for $400-$500.
Yeah.
Like that's the perspective of a sport that is somewhat similar. It's not entirely similar, but is somewhat similar in the difference in the pricing of cards.
I like WWE that. I like that comparison similar. A lot. I do.
In the sense because of the high and here's another point of that, why I think it's even better is I've been learning a bit about WWE just to grow my sense in that space of cards in the future. There's a thing as you're a top card guy, you're a mid card guy. Your top guys are going to be your John Cena's, your Rocks, all of those guys, the guys you know. However, there are plenty of guys who are on the mid card, and the mid card are for the lower end championships, whether it's United States champion or so and so and so. But there are tiers. Like in NASCAR, there are your tiers in teams and tiers in drivers. So the more you dive into it, the closer they really end up being. I don't know. I just had this thought experiment. I thought it was really interesting.
No, I don't think that's crazy at all.
The values between them. Because if I were to go look up NASCAR 101s, it's going to be like $3-4 grand as like the top sales.
You know, the other thing to remember too is that, you know, modern day racing cards, and I'm saying modern day, 2016 Prism, 2016 Torque, 2016 NT, we're 10 years in, right? Modern day Prism football, modern day Prism basketball, 2010. Or was it 2009? 2010, right? First year for Panini licenses on that, I believe. Mm-hmm. So they got over a half a decade. They got another 6-7 years on us for those specific items. Now, obviously, we had Press Pass. Now, Press Pass in its final years really, I feel, shifted gears to match the higher output that was coming out of other companies with the Showcase and 5-star, the Cup or the Cup, you know, Redline. Those items were really, God, they're legends, fantastic products. And obviously, we all love Press Pass. I think everybody has a special place in their collection for Press Pass. But if you think about it, we're still in the world of Panini. We're still kind of a baby. We're still walking. We just learned to walk. Whereas NFL, NBA, all that other stuff, they've been running for a while now, you know? So, and I don't think it's out of the question, like you know, with the WWE, I don't think it's out of the question that in 5 years' time, we start to see gold vinyls and super short printed stuff in that 4-figure range consistently, or in that upper $800 to $1,200 range versus the $200 to $400 range. I don't think it's crazy. And again, I don't want to pay that. Well, I get it. I mean, I don't want to pay it, but if that's the value and there's the value there, I'm okay with it. You know, I've overpaid for a ton of stuff. I mean, the amount of you and I both. I've paid ridiculous amounts of money to people to A, prevent them from putting it on auction, and B, just letting me buy it for way too much money. And I'm okay with that because it's a card I wanted to have and I'm never getting rid of. Example, some of my Dale Senior autos. I'm okay paying that premium because I still think they're super undervalued. Opinion, of course, but I think most would agree that a pack pulled Dale Senior auto to 50 for $650 to $800 right now, raw, is not a bad buy. With a good clean auto on it, whether the card's in perfect shape or not. A hand numbered auto to 50 on card from Senior, you really can't shake a stick at it because, again, at some point they're gonna start selling for what I believe they need to sell for at some point down the road. Will I sell them? Still probably not. I'm probably gonna keep them.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not crazy. And the flip side to that, there are some people that grab a blaster at Walmart because they're bored and they hit a big one and they sell it for $300 to just make the quick cash. Not hating on you at all. If you're listening, if you're that guy, no hate. We
need those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a bad thing. But that comes with, you know, knowing how to look at the market and look at where things are trending, look at where they were, where they're going. Like right now, one of the best buys, I'm gonna give you guys a secret. One of the best buys right now is SVG. I'm gonna tell you, whether you hate him, which is a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason because he's really good at turning left and right. I get it.
Yeah, why people hate him.
I don't care what their reason is.
I'll be real. I'll say it. I'm fine saying this. I think it's because it's a lot of salty rednecks.
Well, you know, that's been a trend for some other drivers, if my memory serves me correct. So it is what it is. You know, that's going to happen. But that guy can drive, and he drove the hell out of the 97 today until he got caught up in that big wreck. He led some laps again at Daytona. In the words of Happy Gilmore, someone learned how to putt. Better watch out, okay? But I have seen people they were dumping Shane at the end of last season because he didn't win the championship. I love the guy, big fan. I didn't think he was going to win the championship. But I was seeing people sell his stuff for 20% of what it was going for. I must have bought 200 plus cards in the last 4 or 5 months that were just ridiculously underpriced. And now all of a sudden, the season starts back up. The Red Bull boys are at it again. Trackhouse boys are on the track, starting to sell again. Stuff I have 4, 5, 6, 10 of. Now they're selling for what they were selling for almost again. So that's, if you want to play that game, great. And again, I buy stuff I might not need, but then if I can sell it down the road and buy the bigger stuff, great. And that what makes it okay if there comes a day when I need to spend XYZ amount in the 4-figure range for a card. If I want it, well, I have a way to go get it, you know? So, yeah, SVG is a buy. I know you have your guys you're chasing right now. I'm not going to expose those unless you want to, but
you can say I'm totally
you know, Gio, I'll tell you, he won the truck race the other night. Dude drove the wheels off that truck.
Arca.
No, he won the truck race.
No, Chandler Smith won.
Or what did Gio win then? Did he win Arca? Oh, he won the Arca race?
Yeah, Arca.
Why was I saying trucks then?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's been a long day, okay? It's been a long weekend of racing.
He's full-time in the truck.
Scratch
he finished
that.
second place. He was second place in the truck race.
Scratch that. Yeah, Gio winning the Arca race. The guy can drive, but he's kind of an unknown. He'd never had a true, never was in Donruss with the rated rookie set. And to my point, you look at the rated rookie set from last year, Muniz, Honeycutt, Fenhouse, those guys still sell somewhat decently. Nothing really to write home about yet. They're not bad. Brent Cruz, I mean, he's got some wins in other series, etc. Honeycutt's got some wins in other series.
I think Honeycutt's another interesting guy, too.
He's an interesting follow, correct, 100%. But, Gio's just kind of been flying under that radar. It's a good pickup. It's a really good pickup.
Dude, the prices you could buy Gio for, well, I made a reel a while back that I'm sure it's a little bit clickbaity, but I said Gio is the better buy based on relative value.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. For upside potential down the road, of course. Right now, if you're buying Zilich, you're kind of buying at the top of the market still. And I don't think that market goes down much, honestly. It's kind of like your Wemby buyers and your Zion buyers from back in the day in the basketball world. Yeah, okay, they got hurt, but they still continued to buy the cards to keep the values up there. That's what's going to happen with Zilich. People are going to continue to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
The values are going to stay high. The kid's a monster behind the wheel. It doesn't matter what he drives. And God willing, he gets behind of an open wheel cockpit one day. Poof! You better hold on to your butts. That stuff is going to skyrocket. So, anyway, I got on a tangent there. I kind of forgot what we were talking about. But,
Gio was priced. He's priced as like a true he's priced like how some of those guys in 2023 Prism Jesse Awuji were priced. Like that's what Gio's priced out, which is ridiculous. Like bingo. I bought a gold Prism of his. I bought one of those gold wave FOTLs, number 3 of his. And they're priced like he's a nobody, and it's like ridiculous. But I'm like, of course I'm happy because I'm gonna keep buying him. But I don't get it. I have another. It's funny. All the good plays I have are in the truck series right now.
Yeah, and you know who drove really well today at the 500? The 67 car.
Yeah.
Corey Heim drove a great race today. Not a great finish, but I think he looks really good. Running at the front of the pack. Working with everybody. I mean, give the kid credit. I think the kid has a full-time seat by the end of the year. Some way, shape, or form. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I still have a lot of Heim stuff. I was hot on Heim in 2022. Again, 2022, what a great year. What a great year for Prism. Man, that was some good stuff.
Hocevar, it's a great year.
Oh, it's fantastic. He looked good all weekend, too. Honestly, he had some great races all through the weekend.
Hocevar's sneaky because he's going to be controversial, and the controversial guys, Busch always sold very well, even though he was controversial. I think Hocevar might sell well in the future too.
I sold a Hocevar NT Auto out of 73. I was the highest priced one on eBay. The last one had sold for like 106, and I had mine at 129.99. And the only other one for sale had a smudged auto and a bashed corner for $99. Dude messaged me and said, "Hey, I want to buy this," and then I also had some like Donruss base autos. He wanted to buy 4 or 5 different things, so made him a package deal. But I was like, I'm just curious, like, hey, are these like your first hosts of our cards? Are you starting a collection? What are you doing? He's like, no, I just watched this Twitch stream. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made him want to go look on eBay to buy some of his stuff. So you never know who's going to be looking for what. You never know who becomes a fan of who for what reason. But yeah, but again, it was a great overall a good weekend of racing. A lot of underlying prospects out there. And speaking of prospects, would you agree or disagree that maybe this last year kind of kicked off and boosted the prospecting part of the hobby for us a little bit heavier than it's ever been?
Oh, Zilich catapulted
Well,
it.
Even Zilich aside, you take Zilich out of the equation. Everybody was going to collect him no matter what, right? The kid was on fire.
Yeah.
By the time he's a Red Bull driver. The guy's a maniac behind the wheel. But if you take him out, I think there was a great amount of excitement for the Fenhouse, Honeycutt, Muniz, that group, Brent Cruz, that little group of rookies. I think I've never seen so many people chasing them before. They sold out in all the breaks. Usually rookies traditionally for me have been kind of harder. Not harder, but they don't go off the bat like your Chase Elliott's and Kyle Larson's do. But this year, there were people upset they didn't get them because there were so many claims for them, which is great to see. There's a good amount of collectors. So I like prospecting. I do. The only other thing I really do is I dabble in baseball with D-backs prospects and some people and stuff baseball. that I like to play with. D-backs definitely isn't for the money. It's just because we collect the Diamondbacks here in our household. But it's been fun to see, and I wouldn't mind. And this may be a controversial item, but once we get the products really solidified and dialed in well, I wouldn't mind seeing a different they have like Prism draft picks for basketball and football. I wouldn't mind seeing Panini somehow put together a strictly ARCA East West, K&N type level sprint, maybe not sprint cars, but late model stuff, the Cars Tour, SRX type stuff in its own little basket. And if we don't get any big higher end releases like a Flawless like some big NASCAR stuff, I'd be jazzed if one day we saw it pop up on the website. Hey, quote, I'm just gonna use this for naming purposes, but a NASCAR draft picks or something like that, where you can go chase the first cards, and then instead of rookies, we have rated prospects like they do for baseball and basketball, etc. Your ARCA East and ARCA West young stars coming up, your Cars Tour guy, your Keelan Harvick type, your Brexton types, those guys that are big, they're making a name for themselves. They're gonna be in those higher levels at some point. It's clear, but maybe that would be a fun thing. I would enjoy it. I don't know if anybody else would, but I wouldn't mind having a set like that, because you can't include everybody in Donruss. We've established that you can't have a 600 person checklist. It's just not ideal. We're already maxing out there, but keep the legends out, keep the current Cup guys out, the current O'Reillys, the current truck guys. But throw in the guys that are maybe doing part-time, maybe they only race in 4 races. Your Cletus McFarland's, your Squirrel McNuts, your Travis Pastrana show, whoever shows up, some specialty stuff. And honestly, if Cletus does not get into Panini sets, swing and a freaking miss. And whether if the only reason he's not in a Panini set is because he doesn't want to do it, I'm okay with that. Love Cletus to death. If he decides that's not for me, fine. Don't put him in, whatever. But if he never gets approached, or it's never brought up, or he's tried to be signed or put in the product, that right there, you know how many people that would bring to the hobby just off of that? It would double. God damn it, it would double. So Panini, if you don't actively try to get him in the sets, if Garrett Mitchell, aka Cletus McFarland, is not included in the talks, you guys are, I'm gonna say you're fucking up, bud. Okay, go get him. You see the impact he has. His interview has the most views out of the whole weekend after the truck race. #1 most watched interview. The guy raced 5 laps. #1 watched interview. Okay, so that's my rant for the night. But I wouldn't mind seeing something like that to boost the prospecting side of racing. I mean, you watch these guys come up through K&N, ARCA, etc. all these years, 2020, 18, 2019, 2020. They have 6 different rookie cars. They're this set, that set. Well, just put them in a set in the baby league, and then once they get a full-time ride in trucks, boom, truck rookie. Oh, they're in XFIT or in O'Reilly's full-time. Boom, O'Reilly's rookie. All right, Zillage full-time Cup. Let's give him a Cup rookie. Then we have this solidified timeline, and if you want to collect that one guy or girl in the set, go get it. And now you've got years of fun. It just opens up more doors. So that's kind of an oddball take. I know some people think that might be odd or dumb, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind having that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I've always been like it's just tough because you don't necessarily know how many more products they want to make. But like, I think it's a natural thing to always potentially go there.
Yeah, but like you even do like, they have Chronicles draft picks. How fun would that be for just the racing prospects? Man, that'd be a fun ass set. No legends, no full-time drivers in any series, just ARCA and below, and up and comers. Man, I would love that.
I mean, I would like it. I think I would like it. I think it's definitely gonna be a tough sell.
Well, it could be a tough sell, but it's something you throw for me on the break. You throw that in with brakes, add to the checklist, bring other costs down for the other spots. Everything works. Everything has its place. It's kind of like when you do a big, you look at Topps Baseball, they do a Series 1, Series 2 mixer, but then they throw in a half a case of Bowman for the prospects, right? Mm-hmm. To juice up some other teams or other spots. I just, that's I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I wouldn't mind it being a thing. At all. So, what else is on your mind this evening, sir?
Oh, so much.
Well, let's hear it.
I don't necessarily know where to exactly go.
You want to talk about white sparkles?
And we can talk about. Yeah, I'll talk about white sparkles. I just don't understand why the white sparkles are. Why in NASCAR they are not, like, people don't care for them, but in literally every single other sport they are the biggest thing of all time. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you look at the sales of what like a Victor Wembanyama silver prism sells for,
like $1,500, isn't it?
Well, a PSA 10 sold for $29,000.
Jesus. Oh, is that the one you sent me a picture of?
Yeah, I'm sure you'll probably put it up.
There it is. Yeah, $29,280. February 7th. Isn't he injured right now?
I think he played in the All-Star. I think he played in the All-Star.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Well, that's
but
crazy.
I'm just I like to put in perspective, like, and these sales are down from what they were. Like, I think there were some like $35,000 to $40,000 sales, like right when he was hot at the beginning of the year for basketball season.
That's wild.
And it's like, if you were to go look at like what the most expensive like NASCAR non-auto, let me specify that the non-auto is, it'll be like $200. Like I obviously, like, when I think something undervalued, I go and buy it. I bought 2 SVG white sparkles for $50 a piece, and I went and I gemmed both of them.
It's a $300 card in my eyes, but
I mean, I think it's pretty easy. Like, yeah, I think it's easily, in my opinion. Of course, I'm the one who owns it, so of course I think it's to be worth more. But like, I think it's a card that's like, okay, if Wemby is a $30,000 card, what's the ratio between like an SVG and like the rest of the field? Like, it should be in the couple hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I have a couple myself. SGC 10s that I love my SGC for the PC. And I have no problem with them. But I know that at some point they're gonna be worth more than what I paid for them. I think I bought mine raw for 40. I think
Oh, yeah, so
in October, right towards the end of the season. At release, they were doing around 85 to 100. I will say that his rookie white sparkles were doing kind of like Zilich. We're doing like 100 to 150 at release, and then kind of came down to that $100 mark. Especially the throwback. I think the throwback does pretty well still, which is an SP within itself. It's a much harder card to pull. There's not many of them out there. So, but yeah, white sparkles in NASCAR compared to the other sports, it's definitely an anomaly. Maybe it's because the checklist is smaller for us, so there's more of them out there per se. Whereas, I think NBA basketball had a 604 player checklist last year. I'm pretty sure. So that might be a part of it, but
I don't know that. Like, I still when you think about the estimated print runs on them, they are low.
Oh, they're low. I'm just wondering if there's 150 guys on the NT checklist for us versus the white sparkle packs being a specific release. I don't know how many they make, but if the checklist is 600, obviously there's going to be less of each. I would say overall, I don't think they make the same amount. I would guess, but I don't know. I don't know. It does go back to just being NASCAR. I think at the end of the day, and what has always been the most popular is the low numbered stuff, the autograph stuff, and sick memorabilia, which I love just as much as the next guy. So, but we have seen a good uptick in the short print area. I would say over on your lower numbered stuff, I think has been selling very well. Fodal Prism for me is, I think there's some people that pulled it and didn't realize maybe what it could go for and kind of sold it on the lower end. And then there's plenty of good Fodal Prism sales where like, okay, that's a good sale. That's 150 off of a 1 of 1 for an out of 3 gold shimmer. That's pretty good. Not too bad. So it goes both ways. It definitely goes both ways. But yeah,
I mean, I would love.
What's that? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I'd love to. I mean, on the FOTL, I would love to find the gold Bubba base, gold wave. What is it? Gold? Yeah, the gold shimmer. I'd love to find the gold shimmer Bubba base. Haven't seen one of those pop up on eBay. And what makes it even worse is my good buddy Brian from Crimson Collects in his 4-box break. I almost bought into, but I was like, it's only 4 boxes. He ended up pulling the Bubba, one of those 3 Bubbas. And I was like, all right, I'll just try to find them on eBay. I haven't seen one. But
shout out to Brian, by the way. The man pulled the #1 chase card out of 2022 Prism Retail and was able to facilitate the deal to me on the Zachary Tinkle Black Finite rookie autograph. Phenomenal. Great guy. Check him out. What's his Instagram again? Crimson Collects?
Yeah, Crimson Collects.
Yeah, Crimson Collects. Good dude. Very good. We should have him on sometime. I wouldn't mind chatting with him some more. He was a good time at the National, dude.
That's a great time.
That would be a fun one.
Shout out to, he had a good day today being a Reddick fan.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's boy one. That's right.
I sent him a little text about
it. That's right. And I've seen him. He collects some really nice Jeff Gordon stuff and some really nice Dale Senior. He's been picking up some really good stuff. Like I'm very impressed with what he's been buying.
I know what I want to talk about next.
Let's do it.
I want to talk about how NASCAR going to the chase makes buying / collecting / investing into drivers so much easier.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. It should make for a very entertaining season, and it gives you something else to look for other than your fantasy garage lineup and, well, who's in first place and who's not going to make it.
Here, I'm still formulating this thought as I speak this, but I think honestly, in the card space, the chase might be the most ideal thing you could do in the card space. Because, more or less, the top 16 best drivers are typically the most popular. They are all going to be in the chase. And since the chase rewards consistently over the last 10 races, even if you sneak in as the 12 seed, you can still go out and put together 10 all-time races and win the championship.
Without a doubt.
And I think that bodes really well for cards. And I think here's a great example of this is Chris Buescher. I mean, he's one of those guys that can benefit from this so much. Like he's like one of the most consistent drivers in the garage. Like I know he's
He
struggled with
deserves it
some
too.
winning, and he deserves it. He struggled with like finding the clutch win when he's needed it to in the other format, but he's gonna be like a top 10 guy because he's so damn consistent. And like when it gets down to it, and like if he's floating in the mix of like winning a championship with a couple races left, like quite a few of these guys I think could have that aren't like from the top 3 teams. Things will get really interesting.
Oh, it's gonna be spicy.
Like I'm just thinking about like some of the guys that aren't from Hendrick, Penske, or Gibbs. I think guys that are going to see a big run from this are, I mean, of course, it depends how they do in the chase, but like Bubba and Reddick are both going to make the chase. They're always going to be intriguing. I think SVG still finds a way to make the chase.
Without a doubt.
Some people
a lot of people think he's fucked, but I'm like, no, I don't think so.
I think he's fine. I think SVG's in it. That'll be exciting for him to be there. We're gonna get one. Busher, I think, is a lock. In, you're gonna get him. I think you actually might get a Ryan Preece as the last, like the 15-16 seed as well, as an option. But it's really interesting because it's like, all right, all 4 Hendrick drivers you can go. All the Gibbs minus Gibbs can go. And the Penske minus Hendricks can go. So it's like, all right, there's roughly 10 spots. Fill the rest of them out. And it's going to be like, just like the big names are going to rise. Like you might get a Hocevar to sneak in. Like how good that would do for Hocevar's prices for him to sneak in and
I'd
make
be so happy with that. So happy.
Yeah. It's going to be easy because you know the guys who are generally like, you're not going to run into a situation where a driver who's good does not have a chance to win a championship. If your driver was worth a damn whatsoever last year, he will be in the chase. Like, I'm sorry, Rowdy Nation, this is not the year for him. Next year when he goes somewhere else, he'll be in it, but I don't see RCR making it.
Well, that and, it eliminates, the one thing I like is it eliminates the one-off guy. Right?
Yeah, they were the worst.
The Cody Ware random cup win. Okay, he's in the playoffs. Great. Oh, he's instantly out. What a waste. No shade to Cody, but that's just the example I'm giving because that could have happened. That very well could have happened many times last year.
The Harrison Burton one was brutal.
That's probably the best example. And again, no hate to Harrison, but does it make sense for you to be in the playoffs just because you won a race for whatever reason? I don't think so.
The worst part about, I know we can just bash it now because it's gone. The worst part about that whole thing is when the underdog wins, you want to be able to celebrate it. But like, if you're a fan of another driver who's like kind of if you like, I'm a Bubba fan. Bubba is always a bubble driver under that format. I could never celebrate a one-off winner, because I knew it just made it so much harder for us to make the playoffs. And it's like last year, I wanted to be able to celebrate Josh Berry's win at Vegas more than I could.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
Because I knew that like when things were all said and done, Bubba was going to finish higher in the points than Josh Berry was. And that could be a real issue coming down the line. Or like with the Harrison Burton thing, it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like I know he's taking up a playoff spot, so this means nothing.
True. No, I don't think he's saying anything crazy. I think most people agree.
Oh yeah,
for guys that aren't fans of the Kyle Larsons and Joey Logano's and Ryan Blaney's and Denny Hamlin's, it really gives you some, I guess, hope. Realistically, right?
So many drivers. So many people gravitate towards people from Penske, Hendrick, and Gibbs that like, unless you, I think Jordan, you get this, unless you are a fan of somebody from like a team that's not them, you don't get how hard winning in the Cup Series really is.
Well said.
So many people become Elliott fans and Larson fans and, oh, we have it so bad. No, you don't. Like, and I speak from experience. I Bubba won in, what was that? He won in 22. I went 3 years without seeing my driver win a race. And like for a lot of guys, like that's normal for them in the Cup Series. And like
No, that's true.
the fact that I can't celebrate a guy like that, I wouldn't have been able to celebrate a guy like with a crazy win like that is like really sad. Because winning is so hard if you are not from one of those top 3 teams. Like I I would say that generally speaking 2311 is considered like the best team that's not one of the big 3. I think it's decently fair to say. Maybe
Yeah.
you would
I
say
think they're-
Trackhouse.
I
But, like-
personally, I put Trackhouse and 2311 in the same boat. And I put
But
them,
below those
yes, your Hendrick, Penske, etc. at the top, and then Trackhouse and 2311 are kind of right there, but not at the top. They're in that next group.
And let me consider this. Last year 2311 won a single race in that second tier. And sure, I know Trackhouse won like 5 or 6, but if you take away SVGs, they won 1 race with Chastain and the Coke 600.
Well, yeah. No,
So,
I get it. Yeah,
That's why-
and that's
yeah.
not, and that's why I don't put Trackhouse, even though with all the SVGWs last year, and road course or not, the wins were wins. But I get what you're saying, and it's 100%. It's just not. It
Like Gibbs, I think I thought something like Gibbs drivers combined for like 13 wins last year.
That's wild.
Gibbs drivers.
Yeah.
Like those people don't get the struggle. They really
It's
don't
like
get the
Patriots
struggle.
fans right now. You know,
Like
you win all the time. For us, when we win a game, we're just happy we won a game. Okay, just let us have our moment here. But then when your boys aren't winning, it's not so fun when it's not a shoe-in. So
I think, Kyle Busch fans are understanding what it's like to go that long without a win. Dale Jr. fans know it really well what it's like.
oh yeah,
I can say that. And that, like, when you're not winning all the time, like, it's hard to state how much more, like, for example, what this win means to Reddick fans when he didn't win a single race last year.
oh, it's
like,
a
it's
crazy
hard to,
way
like-
to start the season. It's huge.
Yeah, like I said, I waited. Like Bubba winning the duel doesn't count. Like it was fun, but like everybody knows it's just a duel. Yeah, I waited 3 years to see him win something.
I know,
Again.
I know it.
And it's just like, I know I'm rambling. We've been doing that. We've been on a call for a long time now. But I guess
to make it make sense, you waited all that time, and over that time, you collected his cars, you built your PC,
Yeah.
you have all these awesome moments, and then at the end of the day, you get that win. Then you sit there, okay, well, this is my guy. Look, this is what I've got. This is it is.
Well, I mean,
it's just all part
yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
all
it's
part of it.
that sticking and like being a true fan of somebody, and it's like it for people like who everybody listening knows my collection, but if somebody didn't, they would be insane if they knew how much money I had tied into a driver that's not part of a big 3 team.
Well, yeah, me
But, like-
too. Same. They would be like, "You're an idiot," but I don't care. I'm happy with.
But
my
like that's like
collections.
but like that's my guy. It's actually really funny. I've probably, even with that, I've probably caught lucky breaks in the sense of him not signing autos anymore for Panini.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's true.
Honestly, that's probably like a decent break for me. Like his 101 gold vinyl autos just aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah, it definitely helps the pocketbook. You know, just for the record, for those of you listening, curiosity, the Zachary Tinkle auto count is now at 289. We are on the
Good
quest
Lord.
for 300 Zachary Tinkle pack pulled certified autos. If you have Zachary Tinkle autos you'd like to sell, please slide up in my DMs on Instagram or Facebook. I will happily pay you full market value for any of those that you have, especially silver and gold rookie autos and anything from National Treasures. I believe I own about 54% of all 2022 National Treasure Zachary Tinkle autos. I'd like to have more. So if you have those and you'd like to move them, please feel free to DM me. I'd love to chat with you and pick those up. that would be a-okay with me. All right. So with that, I would say, if you're still listening, boy, what a trooper you are. You just spent 2 hours and 29 minutes listening to the two of us talk about things you really probably either already knew. But yeah, well, we rambled on, but it was great rambling. I can tell you this, with the state of the hobby, I've been very excited to get back to this stuff. We took a lot of time off of these. We've both been very busy with work and life and stuff like that. I'm going to be moving here shortly at the end of the month. I'll be heading to the East Coast. I'll be down in Florida. But we're still going to continue to do these. Hopefully we can incorporate some more voices. We talked about Brian, Crimson Collect would be great. I know Nick Cusack from Australia would love to be on. You'd love to get his take from some NASCAR collecting from the other side of the world, literally. But yeah, we have some fun things planned. I think this will hopefully be more of a regular-ish thing. Can't give you any specific schedule or dates, but I think I enjoy it, and it gives me a chance to say things that I want to get out there, and whether 4 people listen or 4,000, it don't matter. Hopefully you took something away, and we do appreciate you listening. But I think that'll probably wrap it up. We are now at 2:30 on the dot. Do you have any final remarks or comments for our faithful listeners out there, Mr. Noah?
I don't know. I cannot fathom somebody listening through all of that.
I bet you right now. I'm a shout out Dalton. I bet he's listening to this whole thing when we post it up. Congrats, sir. Justin, always listen to the end. Brownie points for you both. 1 golden noodle star for you both for making it this far. But also, if you could do us a favor, just maybe leave a comment too, because that'll give us stuff to talk about. If you want our input or you want some advice or a take, throw it in there. Let me know. We've gotten some good stuff in the past, so throw it on up, and we'll continue to ramble, complain, educate, disperse information at our leisure as this awesome 2026 season gets underway, and as the 2026 product comes out. I will be doing probably have a solo episode coming out in the next month or so about Parkside, from the internal side. And then obviously I want to do one with you as well. I know you've been following the Parkside stuff as well. We'll do a little episode on that as well. But a lot of fun stuff in the IndyCar world coming out. As far as collecting goes this year, they're really boosting and amping it up. So a lot of fun stuff coming down the chute. I am going to say adios for now. Noah, it's been a pleasure, sir. For all of you that decided to listen to this, you're an absolute menace, and we thank you. So until next time, take care, and we will see you all for the next one.
Peace.